2 minutes and 3 seconds. And they're going for Marshall Faulk. He is open. Darnay Scott. See you later. Faulk, his 4th touchdown of the night.
Don't ever think that BYU and Ty Detmer will not come back.
Get the block from Anderson and scores. Touchdown. Myron Ricks. He hands it off to Willis. He will walk in. In the Eastern time zone, put on a pot of coffee and stay up late with us.
Crowd of 65,000 on hand, and here are the Aztecs of San Diego State, the preseason conference favorite. But everyone in the WAC knows the road to the title always goes through Provo. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. San Diego State coach Al Luganville is just sick of tie football games. A tie last year against BYU cost him a conference championship. A tie last week against Southern Cal cost him what would have been the biggest win in school history. Mike Godfrey joins me now, and Mike, the Aztecs missed 2 late field goals that would have won that ball game. A big emotional letdown. Can they be up for tonight's game?
Mike, it was an emotional game, but Al Luganville believes because it's BYU tonight and what happened in last year's game, his team will be ready. But he doesn't want to track meet like last year. What he'd like to do on offense is control the football with short passes from quarterback David Lowry and then give the ball to Marshall Faulk on the ground. The best defense tonight, Mike, could be the offense that controls the football, keeps the other offense on the bench.
Exactly. BYU with Ty Detmer at quarterback won 3 straight WAC titles. The battle to succeed him came down to 3 days before the season's opener when John Walsh got the call. Played well in his first game.
He did in his first game, Mike, but I believe John Walsh is the big question mark tonight. Even though he had success against Texas El Paso in the opener, tonight is his major obstacle because he's going to face a San Diego State defense that's going to move around on defense. They're going to blitz him. They're going to disguise secondary coverages. San Diego State is going to say tonight, John Walsh, you've got to prove to us that you understand this BYU offense, you can make the right decisions, and you can beat us tonight.
ESPN's Thursday Night CFA is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. With that clean, crisp, cold taste, nothing beats a Bud. And by Konica Copiers and Fax. We work for some of the biggest names in the business. Last week against Southern Cal, Marshall Faulk fired his opening salvo in the Heisman War with 220 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns against the Trojans. For more on this super sophomore, here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you very much, Mike, and hello, everyone. You know, a sophomore has never won the Heisman Trophy, and maybe there's never been a sophomore quite like Marshall Faulk. A product of the impoverished 9th Ward of New Orleans, following the illness of his mother, he was left alone to survive at the age of 15. Now, surrounded by drugs, violence, and crime, he had all the opportunities to make the wrong decisions, but he made the right ones. And it seems rather ironic that his development he grew up in was called Project Desire, as he shunned some of the national college football powers to attend San Diego State University and pursue his desire to be a running back. And herein lies the real story. Not the staggering numbers he's put up on the gridiron, but the overwhelming desire of one young man to beat the odds and become a winner in life. And speaking of odds, San Diego State has never won here in Provo against BYU, but they never come here with a winner like Marshall Faulk. Mike?
Jerry, you're absolutely right about that. He is a great story, and maybe no one has ever come to Provo with as good a running back as Marshall Faulk, or quite as good a story either. That is Andy Trackus teeing it up for San Diego State. They won the toss, deferred their selection to the second half. BYU will receive. Hemahe Mooley and Jamal Willis are deep at the goal line. And we are set to go in what could be the championship game of the WAC in the second week of the season. Willis 5 yards deep. He'll take it there. And now for tonight's McDonald's starting lineups. John Walsh won the preseason quarterback duel for the Cougars and got off to an excellent start last week. 300 yards, 3 TDs. All-American candidate Eric Drage gained over 1,000 yards receiving last year. Even without great speed, he gets open. Up front, center Gary Pay at 6'6", 280, one of the smallest linemen. He's the only man returning who started every game last year.
BYU and Ward Parker. Thank you, Universal Campus Studies.
John Walsh back to throw on first down, being chased, throws sideline, nearly intercepted, and then caught at the 25-yard line. It looked like it would be picked off by Damon Pierre, somehow got through his hands, and Byron Rex, the tight end, made the catch, and they're going to the hurry-up. Coach, why?
No huddle offense. They want to get more plays in. They don't want to allow San Diego State to substitute. It also saves their offensive linemen because they don't have to huddle and run back up the line of scrimmage.
Walsh on 2nd and 5. The quick out complete. It's a first down. Got it out there to Bryce Doman. That San Diego State defense has Tyrone Morrison. He may be the best of an undersized line. The junior was a parade All-American in high school. Mark Roberts had 11 tackles and a sack last week. The sophomore has excellent speed, and he's a sure tackler. Damon Pierre, one of only 4 senior starters on defense, all-conference a year ago at free safety. First down, BYU. Willis gets the carry. Only a couple.
Ball Willis off the right side. Tackles made by Sean Smith, number 99.
Taraj Smith, the middle guard, was in there first.
There you see Steve Clements now. 2 quarterbacks will send the signals in. One is on, one is off. Steve Clements, quarterback John Walsh, will look to him, get the signal, and then make the play call.
Walsh again with a quick set, the quick out, and 2 wide this time, intended for Eric Drage.
John Walsh, the quarterback, didn't win this job until after the last scrimmage. Lavelle Edwards says it was the toughest decision he ever had to make in the quarterback position. It was so close. But he said to us the other day, there you see Lavelle Edwards, that John Walsh is the most accurate passer he's ever had here at BYU, which says a lot.
3rd and 7 certainly does. They've had a string of outstanding quarterbacks. Rex, the tight end, was in motion. 4-man rush. Walsh forced out of the pocket. Sidearms this one, an incomplete, intended for his tight end Rex, covered very closely by the strong safety Chris Johnson.
San Diego State defense, they've changed their philosophy a little bit playing BYU. They've been played a lot of man coverage against them in the past, and they've got burned. Here you see them with a 4-man rush, playing heavy zone. You see the twist by the defensive lineman, and then John Walsh leaves the pocket to try to find something, but everything was covered.
For the Cougars.
Joe Herrick will
For the Aztecs, number 17,
Ray Peterson waits at his own 20-yard line. No rush. Herrick with a nice high floating kick. Peterson at the 14. Back to the 25 where he is nailed. A return of 11 after a 47-yard punt. San Diego State's offense, Marshall Faulk is not their only offensive threat. Quarterback David Lowry set a school record against BYU last year, passing for 568 yards and 5 TDs. His favorite target, Darnay Scott, who also had a huge game against BYU last year, 243 yards, an NCAA freshman record. The most consistent lineman, Tony Nichols, a preseason all-conference pick. He is equally good at pass and run blocking. No backs as Faulk goes to a flanker spot. 4-man rush. Lowry with time, complete to the 30, up to the 35 goes Darnay Scott, his favorite target. Take a look at that BYU defense. It is a young defensive line. The best maybe Randy Brock had 6.5 sacks last year. He was a freshman All-American at an interior line spot. Shad Hansen was in an amazing 193 tackles a year ago. After one game this year, leads the club in stops again. And Derwin Gray, the veteran in the secondary, he's a candidate for the Thorpe Award as the best defensive back in the nation. Al Luganbill, who has had 3 straight winning seasons, something that had not happened at San Diego State since 1977, and he has the program exactly where he wants it. A chance to win the WAC this year. They are the preseason favorites. And the officials will mark it a first down at the 37-yard line. Now Faulk is the single setback. Never seen him. This kid is a tremendous back. Faulk with the first carry slashes his way for about 4 to the 41-yard line.
San Diego State wants ball control tonight, the short passing game, and then get the ball in the hands of Marshall Faulk as a runner. But it's interesting in their first formation when they had Marshall Faulk out and no backs in the backfield. The key matchup is number 36, Todd Herget, against Ray Peterson, number 17.
2nd and 6. Lowry with a short set once again off to Darnay Scott. He's wrapped up in a hurry by Vic Tarleton, junior college transfer who had 10 interceptions in his last year at Sacramento State College.
Last year when David Lowry played against BYU, he threw for a record number of yards. Here you see just a short drop. They're going to give him the short route. There's Darnay Scott, number 6. He burned him last year on post routes and deep streaks, so they're going to give him the short routes here early in the game.
Caught 7 balls a week ago in the opener. Already has 2 catches in this game. 3rd and short. Faulk hit at the line of scrimmage. He didn't make it. And you won't see that very often. Marshall Faulk stood up at the line of scrimmage, unable to fall forward, and Lenny Gomes, the nose man, the first man to hit him. Big number 90.
To the left of your screen, Lenny Gomez, number 90, is going to work inside. You see his inside move there, and he beats the block of number 71, Carson Leomidi, and gets penetration. They have to get penetration and get people up the field to get Marshall Faulk before he gets started.
Scott Oatsball is the punter. He beat Jason Savorn, a 2-year varsity kicker, out of a job. Hangs this one up. Fair catch signal made by Brad Clark, and he'll take it inside the 15-yard line. BYU will start from there when we come back. That was a punt of 41.
These extinct relics of American business remind us that waste and inefficiency don't pay. And that while perhaps it used to be impressive to throw money around, today it's more impressive not to. A timely reminder from the only company that guarantees 10:30 overnight delivery for up to 40% less, UPS.
When it came time to sell the car, I don't know why. I guess I was sort of torn. I mean, we'd been through a lot together. Still, I decided to run an ad with what I thought was a fair price. Next thing I know, I've got all these incredible offers. After a lot of thinking, I went with the lowest bid.
Thanks, Dad.
Nothing beats a winning team. Pushing hard, reaching for that dream. You got the heart, you got the soul. Can't stop now, gotta rock and roll. Nothing beats our best Budweiser. Nothing beats a Bud. When the races run, we'll be number 1. Nothing beats a Bud.
ESPN's Thursday Night CFA is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, builders of fine automobiles since 1886, and by No Touch Tire Care. Treat your tires right. We played about 3 minutes of football at Brigham Young, scoreless, San Diego State and BYU. Normally, 3 minutes is enough for one of these teams to score. People jumping on the play. Willis trying to cut it outside and does. 21-yard line. Now we'll check the penalty for you. Gary Taylor came up from the corner to make the tackle.
Willis around the left hand. The tackle was made by
Willis picked up 46 yards on the ground last week. And it will go against San Diego State.
There you see Barry Lamb, the defensive coordinator of San Diego State. Last year, they played a 46 defense and blitzed all over the place and had their free safety involved in a lot of man coverage. This year, you'll see the difference will be number 9, Darrell Lewis. They'll keep him in center field, so he's able to make the plays if somebody misses a tackle and keep the football in front of him and not allow the big plays, Mike.
And that's something that burned that young defense a year ago. You can only score so many points. They got a ton and still lost a couple. It will be 1st and 5 after the penalty. Hall and Willis are the backs behind John Walsh with 3 wideouts. Willis on the sweep. A lot of room. 30, 35, 39-yard line. A 19-yard gain. And Lewis was the man who just got a piece of an ankle to trip him up.
When you play BYU, you have to stop the crack of the wide receivers. Both wide receivers crack, and you see Mike Empey, number 66, come out and block Gary Taylor. A corner has to be able to take that on and force it inside.
19 yards on the play.
First down, Cougars at their own 39. Across the 40 goes Hall. Tracy Mao made the tackle. Look at the points. I mean, this is awesome. We're set for about a 4.5-hour game tonight. And last year, 52-52, the highest tie score in the history of the NCAA.
Well, how'd you like to be the defensive coordinator? Drives you crazy, all those points. But this year, I think they'll play a little different and make BYU work the field, not allow them the big play.
2nd and 8. Walsh on the little half roll. Plenty of time to throw. Now has some pressure. Throws off balance, and it's picked up by the free safety, Darrell Lewis. Down the sideline. He's got a chance. Cut it back. Touchdown.
Walsh's pass is intercepted.
You have to give Taraj Smith, the nose man, part of the credit because he got to John Walsh's ankles right at the end.
We said early they were going to make John Walsh beat them. Here you see the coverage. See free safety Darrell Lewis in center field. Now he's moving on the football. Breaks in front of the tight end Byron Rex for the interception. Again, keeping him in center field, allowing him to see the football in front of him.
A 53-yard touchdown return. Andy Trackus for the point after. And San Diego State, with its defense, goes on top at Brigham Young. 7-0, a 53-yard interception return. Easily tell last time was, as Mike earlier said, a defensive coach's nightmare. But Darrell Lewis says not this time. He picks off a pass and goes 53 yards for a touchdown.
Looks like both defenses starting. They have great motivation for this game to try to make up for last year's ball game.
Trackus will kick to Heimuli and Christensen. Heimuli from the 1. Big hits down there as he got back to the 15-yard line. Let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch. Jerry?
Guys, BYU offensive coordinator Roger French told his offensive line, his massive offensive line, say, hey, guys, we've got to give our quarterback a little bit of time. We had a receiver wide open downfield for the touchdown, but he didn't have time to get the ball to him, so he rushed to throw, and that's what happened. Guys, we have got to pass block here in the offensive line. Back upstairs.
BYU takes over at its own 16-yard line, and Mike Walsh being a young quarterback, now you have to see how he reacts.
It'll be a good test for him to rebound, to come right back. If it's the true BYU, they'll still throw the football, come right back with it.
This is Hall on the sweep. Got some room outside, picks up about 3. Of course, Walsh had 2 interceptions last week with 3 touchdown passes.
Kalen Hall is another weapon in this BYU offense. He gives them a quickness at the backfield position. He's out of Dixie Junior College, played for Greg Croshaw down there. Dixie always has a great junior college program.
And he was the National Junior College Athletic Association Player of the Year. Walsh back to throw. Delay. Heymuli. Not much. Got up to the 22-yard line. Coming up from the linebacker, Mark Roberts, number 37, in on the tackle. Along with Robert Griffin.
There's the signals. Roger French gives it to both quarterbacks. One of those quarterbacks are hot. John Walsh gets the play and then makes the call at the line of scrimmage. Formation first, then he'll give the play.
3rd and 3 for the Cougars. Walsh goes to the shotgun. Comes the blitz. Has time. Throws over the middle and dropped by Willis. Had the first down and more. A good throw right on target, but Willis just dropped it.
Little high on the throw. Robert Griffith, number 34, right with Jamal Willis, but still a catchable football to keep the chains moving in the first down, but instead forced a punt.
Peterson will go deep to receive the punt of Joe Herrick. Got up a beauty the first time. Peterson standing back inside his own 40. Peterson with a fair catch signal makes it at the 37-yard line. A punt of 41 and no return. You know, of course, ESPN, your home away from home every Saturday for the best in college football. It all begins at 11:30 a.m. with College Game Day as the Mole people, Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Craig James, will preview all the action. Then at 12:30 off to Iowa City, Iowa State against Iowa. Then at 7, the Residents In Scoreboard show all the scores and highlights. And then at 7:30, our primetime matchup should be a beauty. Florida State and Clemson, the first night game in Death Valley since 1956. Once again, no backs in the backfield for Lowry. Has his tight end, Alex Semenuk, and Semenuk up to the 45-yard line. Now, this has got to mess you up a little bit if you're a defensive coordinator because you're primed to stop Marshall Faulk and he doesn't line up in the backfield.
You're exactly right, Mike. By spreading the field and the Marshall Faulk being in the backfield, now you have to play with the linebacker on a tight end. He's going to come across and beat the linebacker inside. See the tight end, Alex Semenuk, against the linebacker, and that's the match they like.
2nd and about 2. Faulk on the toss. Hammered again as he got near the first down mark. Shad Hansen, who had those 193 tackles a year ago, drilled him.
They're definitely trying to stop Marshall Faulk with their defense because they're keeping their linebackers in a 2nd down. Ken Schmidt, the defensive coordinator, knows that he has to stop Marshall Faulk, but San Diego State on the other side has the quick passing game. David Lowry has it anytime he wants it.
3rd and just less than a yard. Lowry, the junior from Mission Viejo, California, calling the play. And now San Diego State wants a timeout to talk about it, as Lowry either didn't get the play in time or was confused by what he got. It's a 7-0 Aztec lead. Back in a moment. With the touchdown lead, facing a 3rd and 1 at its own 46-yard line. Quarterback keeper and Lowry will move the chains.
See Brett Ingles with the notepad. He makes the offensive play calling. Right now, what I look for out there, Mike, is when they go to the no-back set, they really have some mismatches. Ray Peterson, number 17, against Todd Herget, number 36. To me, that's the biggest mismatch, and where I think San Diego State will try to throw the ball down the field eventually.
1st and 10, Aztecs. Faulk the single setback. Play action by Lowry. Quickly goes out to Williams. Williams won't get much. Hill, one of the tacklers, along with Tarleton. A little pushing and shoving. Nathan Hall got over there.
BYU got burnt so bad last year in some man coverage that they're playing a lot of zone coverage, trying to keep everything in front of them also, giving up the short pass, make the tackle, and force San Diego State, again, not to get the big play. Neither team wants to give up the big play.
Lowry has been accurate on the short pass so far. 4 out of 4, 29 yards.
Here's where Peterson, I think, is the person you go to.
Peterson in the slot on the left side, number 17. That's where Lowry's looking. Now he's chased. And throws it incomplete, intended for Faulk, who was hanging out at the sideline. And Mike, you're right. He had his eyes on Peterson the entire time.
He knows if he looks up and sees Ray Peterson, a receiver, number 17, against the linebacker, number 36, Todd Herget, who's 6'3" and 230, he feels like he's got the mismatch that he wants. But good coverage by BYU there. They went to his zone coverage to help Herget against Peterson.
Peterson certainly with a quickness advantage at 5'8", 165. At that time, Lowry couldn't find him.
Now BYU counters by bringing in the nickel back.
3rd and 6. Here comes the blitz. And Lowry just threw it into the ground. There's no flag, and Lowry got away with one.
First play, Mike, where BYU played man coverage and blitzed. They were showing David Lowry zone coverage that brought number 49, Nathan Hall. You see Nathan Hall on the stunt. Just broke down in pass protection, and there's no place to go with the football.
At one point, Lowry wasn't within hailing distance of Ray Peterson, who was the only eligible receiver in there. Oates fall to punt. And Clark waiting at the 10. Lets it bounce, and it makes the end zone. You just joined us. It has been an unusual BYU San Diego State game so far. Both teams known for offense. Last year, nearly 500 yards and had total offense for both clubs. Had them in the top 10, but the defense well down the NCAA list of Division I schools. Not so far tonight. They both played reasonably well. Willis on the toss. This sweep has worked so far tonight. Got to about the 28-yard line. Linebacker Mark Roberts, number 37, in on the stop.
BYU's had success with the sweep. Jamal Willis was able to get outside. They went to a wing formation, blocked everybody down, and again, they're forcing the corners, Gary Taylor and Damon Pieri of San Diego State, to make the tackle.
Willis, 3 carries, 30 yards so far. 2nd and 2 here. Hall will get a chance.
Broke off the tackle. Hall with running room, midfield, 40, 30. Cut from behind at the 5-yard line by Gary Taylor, who saved the touchdown. When you play against an 8-man front football team, what you'd like to do is spread them out by formation to make sure they cover your wideouts. Here's just a quick hitting trap play by Kalen Hall, but he was able to keep his feet moving, and he broke so many tackles and then breaks to the secondary. Gary Taylor, 23, is going to save the touchdown.
Power, balance, and speed all combined for a 66-yard run for Kalen Hall. 1st and goal. Willis to the 2. Pushed out of bounds by Damon Pieri. Mike, when you're able to get the corner as easily as they have been able to do against this defense so far, what can San Diego State do?
Well, they've got to be able to make sure that they don't get outside. You see Damon Pieri, again, number 39. The wide receivers are cracking the strong safety. Damon Pieri has to come up to make that tackle on Jamal Willis. It's a one-on-one situation, but Jamal Willis is getting the corner turned, and you don't want that.
Willis is the single setback as they go to 3 wideouts. 2nd and goal. Play action. Walsh throws, touchdown. Rex, the tight end. The all-conference tight end gets his second touchdown of the young season.
Well, you got to be a little bit of an actor. Byron Rex, a tight end, blocked down and then shot to the corner, and the man coverage on him was just a little late. Did a nice job of acting there on his block and was wide open.
David Lauder will try the point after to tie it up. And now the official will delay the play. Lauder, a transfer from Ricks College out of Centerville, Utah. Joe Herrick, his holder. Lauder knocks it through. And Brigham Young, with an 80-yard drive that took a minute 12, has tied it up.
Keep your eye on the tight end. Walsh is going to fake and then come out the backside. Byron Rex just a little short step to block, and see how far he's away from the man coverage of number 9, Darrell Lewis, for the touchdown.
And Walsh, after the interception, extremely pleased that he could get that touchdown pass, his 4th of the season. And Rex with his 2nd scoring pass of the year. They're all conference tight end. This is more like what you would expect out of these two clubs.
A big play again, Mike. That's the thing San Diego State didn't want to give up. The big run
Hall
by
with
Kalen
66
Hall.
yards. And he's a great addition to this ball club. Normally, when you think about Brigham Young, you do not think about running backs. And they have 2 very good ones this year.
What Kalen Hall brings to the table is, as you see Barry Lamb talking to his defense, they're talking about the little trap play that Kalen Hall hit. But he brings speed and quickness. He's able to hit that trap quick.
Pittman, Williams, and Maxwell are deep to receive. The kick of David Lauder. That's Keith Williams, the junior. He's the deep man. Lauder, a high floating kick. Williams from the 5. To the 15. Roberts down on special teams, made a sure tackle and held the return to 10 yards. An 80-yard scoring drive, 66 coming on Hall's run, and Byron Rex got the last 2 on the short touchdown pass. So San Diego State's offense, benefiting from its defense for its touchdown, would like to get something started. Delay to Faulk. What a nice tackle by Shad Hansen. And Faulk brought down just shy of the 20.
Mike, San Diego State's offensive line has real tight splits, and that's for protection. You watch their offensive line when they come to the line of scrimmage. Look how tight they are. Now, they feel like they can get the corner on the run, and they can protect the quarterback a little bit better in pass protection. There you see Marshall Faulk break through. Shad Hansen with a pretty nice tackle.
Faulk with 4 carries for only 8 yards. Very un-Heisman-like numbers, but we are very early. He'll break one. Might be right here. Faulk to the 30, out to the 31. It will be a first down. Derwin Gray, the free safety, had to bring him down after a gain of 12.
Switching up through the middle.
Herschel Walker and Tony Dorsett, the only 2 freshmen who outrushed him in numbers of yards. And he missed 3.5 games last year with broken ribs. He could have been easily over 2,000 yards a year ago, and that's probably a low goal for him this year.
Three's Company, that's pretty good group. That's a pretty good show right there.
And only the 3rd freshman ever named first team All-NCAA by the Associated Press. Lowry tried to go to Semenika's tight end, overthrown down the middle against double coverage. More numbers on Faulk. Averaged 158.8 yards. 23 touchdowns. The average yards per game, the most ever for a freshman. The only time a freshman has ever won that statistic in the history of the NCAA, and the scoring rate. Faulk again, and a good jump by Lenny Gomes, the nose man. Twice he has made real slashing moves to the inside.
Doing a lot of slanting in the defensive front, trying to get penetration to get Marshall Faulk before he gets out of the backfield. Lenny Gomez, number 90, with a good move inside, beating the block of the offensive guard.
Third and 7, 4 minutes, 14 seconds to go. First period, we're tied at 7. 3 wide receivers go to the far side, and then Faulk to the near side. Almost intercepted. Right into the hands of Hassan McCullough, but the freshman couldn't hold it.
Mike, you want to stay out of 3rd and long if you're San Diego State, because that's the only time so far in this ball game where BYU's brought in the nickel back, and they haven't had success against the nickel. You see LaVell had received. David Lowry knows he's made a mistake. He knows that he wants to get the ball in there against the nickel back.
Looked like he was upset with one of his receivers, too.
He wanted him to look a little sooner. He wanted to throw the ball just a little bit quicker.
Brad Clark stands back at his own 20-yard line. As Oatsball got a big rush, but got it out of there. Pretty kick. Clark, fair catch, fumbled it, and appeared to be fortunate and dove right back on it at the 26-yard line. Covered closely by San Diego State after a punt of 39 yards. Sunday Night Baseball comes your way again this Sunday. John Miller and Joe Morgan will bring it to you. The Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals on America's Game of the Week. 2 teams that were destined for the West before Fay Vincent made his exit. And our exclusive coverage starts at 8 o'clock, 5 Pacific time.
Eric Drage, the wide receiver 18 for BYU, has been quiet so far. He's a favorite receiver of John Wall.
Wall's back to throw. Sidearmed that one and threw it too high, intended for Bryce Doman. Walsh looks a little unsure right now.
Didn't get set, Mike. It looked like his plant foot in the grass kind of slid a little bit on him, and he really didn't get anything on the throw. You see John Walsh back up. Look at his right foot. Looks like he just stumbles a little bit. He didn't get anything on the ball. Stepped away from the target.
3 out of 8, 18 yards, has a touchdown, but also has an interception that was returned for a score. 4-man rush, no pressure at all. Now some, and they've got him. The sack goes to Terrell Steen, number 42, the junior from Englewood, California.
If you can get a pass rush on a 4-man rush, that's what San Diego State has to do. Just a 4-man rush where number 48, Jamal Duff, and Terrell Steen, number 42, get pressure on and are able to sack John Walsh. That allows you not to send your linebackers.
Steen was going up against Eli Herring, giving up 115 pounds to the 330-pound tackle. 3rd and 16 now for the Cougars. They'll go on the ground, and Willis smothered behind the line of scrimmage. And the crowd did not particularly like the call. Tyrone Morrison, the first man in there, and a good defensive stand for San Diego State after they give up the 80-yard drive.
Well, the fans are booing a little bit, but they forget Ty Detmer is at Green Bay. So, you know, he went 3rd and 15. He made some impossible things happen, but they just wanted to be safe, punt the ball out, and play defense again.
Herrick to punt. And Ray Peterson, number 17, waits at the 40. Low kick could be returned. Peterson from the 44. Midfield, driven out of bounds, and then hit late as he was 5 yards out of bounds and hit no flag. Let's go to the sideline and Jerry Punch.
Guys, somewhat of a blow to the BYU offense. Freshman fullback Hema Hamuli behind me on the training table. Trainer T.J. Byrne is wrapping his right ankle. They put an electrical stimulation device inside. He sprained his ankle a couple weeks ago, didn't practice all week, and he's through for the night. Back upstairs.
All right, Jerry, thank you. A tough break for that young man.
Excellent field position for San Diego State here. They've had success with the no back and throwing the football on first down. Let's see if they go to that.
3 wideouts to the left side and Faulk behind the quarterback Lowry. Faulk will get the carry straight up the middle. Hit hard again as he got to the BYU 40-yard line. And once again, it was Shad Hansen, their leading tackler. who really stuck him, but then Marshall Faulk is used to that.
In the one-back set, Shad Hansen, the linebacker, will be over the center, and he will shadow Marshall Faulk. He's the player that has to be responsible inside.
The senior linebacker with 193 tackles a year ago. 2nd and 7 for San Diego State. They are at the BYU 40. Faulk again, cuts it outside. Nice move, 30, 25-yard line. He's just wonderful to watch a gain of 15. Vic Tarleton had to make the tackle.
Look at the blitz here by BYU. It's man coverage. You're going to see the outside pressure come, and that means the secondary's running with receivers, and that's why it's so late for them to react. Derwin Gray, number 5, with a pretty good angle, but just didn't make the tackle. Here's another look. Watch the spin move away from Derwin Gray, the strong move, and then the backside pursuit makes the tackle. Vic Tarleton, number 10.
Faulk now up to 40 yards in the first quarter. Lowry with time and overthrows Williams.
Well, they had a good call on there the last play when they had Marshall Faulk on the little counter play against the blitz. Just perfect timing against the call by Lavelle Edwards' defense.
It makes you hold your breath every time he gets the ball.
All the great ones do, because you know anytime they touch it, whether it's by the run or pass, they have the ability to take it all the way and ruin your Thursday night.
2nd and 10. Flag down. We asked Faulk about being on TV, and would that help his Heisman chances, since he plays on the West Coast and doesn't get a lot of national publicity. I'll tell you more in a second.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And Marshall Faulk said he was much more interested in having the game on national television so his folks back home could see it. Not that so much that it enhanced any chances he might have of the Heisman Trophy. I think he's got his priorities in order.
He does. He talked about he has to be much better than everybody else if he's to win the Heisman Trophy statistics-wise. Great thing about San Diego State's offense, when you have a 2nd and long, you don't have to really throw for it sometimes. Just give it to him. He'll pick up the long yardage.
And they have a 2nd and 15 here from the BYU 30. Clock running, 50 seconds to go first period. Lowry to Williams, and can't hold it inside the 10. Good coverage by Tarleton and Derwin Gray, but the pass was there. Williams dropped one in the closing seconds a week ago against Southern Cal that could have set up a short winning field goal.
Keith Williams is going to run a little in route. Vic Tarleton, you're going to see number 10 come into the picture. This ball's caught, and then Tarleton comes in and knocks it away, strips the ball away. Good play by the defensive back.
Lowry hit his first 4, but has thrown 6 straight incompletions and now has a 3rd and 15. And Lowry will burn his 2nd first-half timeout as he wants a different play from Al Luganville.
Tell you, they had a nice setup there, what they did offensively. They moved Marshall Faulk out to the left side, which put him against Brad Clark one-on-one. I wouldn't mind having that if I was the offensive coordinator.
How much, as a coach, were you upset when you had to use your timeouts, 2 of them now in the first quarter? Would you rather see them use the timeouts or go ahead and run a play that maybe they weren't sure of?
Well, it depends, because if you got a bad play and you're going to bust it, this is a key situation because the ball's on the 30-yard line. You want to come away with points. So if there's any doubt, I'd rather use the timeout, because I figured that if it's close to the halftime, I'd like to have them. But if I don't, my 2-minute offense ought to be good enough to stop the clock.
Let's check in with Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Guys are responsible to a preseason publication that labeled BYU as the most hated college football team in America, much to the surprise of many folks, including us. Look what's happened on campus. A number of T-shirts have come out. Why is it most hated in 92? Well, on the back it tells you why. They've won 14 WAC championships in a row, a Heisman Trophy winner, 2 Outland trophies, and of course this one is the one the players are wearing beneath their jerseys. I love the most hated college football team in America. The BYU guys are wearing it beneath their jerseys here in the game. Back upstairs.
All right, Jerry. 3rd and 15. Here comes the blitz. Lowry with time. Throws for Scott. Touchdown. They had the right call against the blitz. Hassan McCullough, the freshman, was on the All-American candidate Darnay Scott, and David Lowry laid it up for him. And boy, it got quiet here at Brigham Young. Trackus on for the point after to make it 14-7. A touchdown pass of 30 yards for Lowry. Trackus knocked it a little bit right, but got it through.
San Diego State was able to spread the defense. With the no back, you see the one-on-one coverage by Hassan McCullough, number 1. Darnay Scott gets behind him, but the coaches talked about his ability to go high for the football, use his body, and make the catch. And he just out-rebounded him for the touchdown. Look how they spread him out when you got the receiver, and then Marshall Faulk's going to move outside. So you have the defense completely spread out. And able to get the one-on-one coverage on the outside.
Of course, Jerry was down at the sideline talking about BYU and that claim of the most hated team in America. Lavelle Edwards said when he first came here, he was the most loved team in the WAC because he couldn't beat anybody. Everybody wanted to play Lavelle. He was homecoming meat for everybody.
Well, that's a great thing when you're in a league. If you win the league, you're not liked. But if you happen to lose a lot, boy, everybody wants to take you out to dinner. All the other coaches, they want to keep you around. Lavelle knows he's in a fist fight tonight.
Hassan McCullough, the true freshman, Patrick Mitchell giving him some advice.
He wasn't in bad shape.
No.
Darnay Scott just was able to go up over him and make the play, and he's done that so many times.
Eric Hughes and Steve Christensen are deep to receive. And a sellout crowd of 65,000, very quiet right now at Cougar Stadium. This one is crushed a yard out of the back of the end zone. So Trackus does his job, and San Diego State's offense finally did its job. 43 yards, 5 plays, and Scott got the touchdown on the 30-yard pass.
You know one thing, if you're a defensive coordinator in this game, you just got to keep going because both teams just will keep answering each other.
And the one thing Lavelle Edwards said is you can cover up a lack of speed on offense, but you can't cover it up on defense. Hall shakes a couple of tackles. Flag is down as Hall got to the 24-yard line. Covered by Tracy Mao and Ramondo Stallings. And it will be a hold against the Cougars. Still have 29 seconds to go. First period of play. Mike Patrick along with Mike Gottfried and Dr. Jerry Punch with you from Provo, Utah. And speaking of Jerry Punch, let's check in with the doctor right now. Jerry?
After the latest San Diego State score, BYU defensive coordinator Ken Smith just talked to his players, really encouraging to his defensive backs. But what he told his linebackers said, hey, guys, when we blitz, we have got to get there. With their outside speed and Lowry's release, if we don't get there, that's what's going to happen all night. Back upstairs.
And you're right, Jerry. The last time Lowry got the protection and time to throw that ball.
The old saying, you live by the blitz, you die by it. And it's got a two-way sword.
After the penalty, it's 1st and 20. BYU backed up to its own 10. Play action. And a sack back of the 4. Ball comes loose. Haven't heard a whistle yet. The officials staring at each other. And one points to the ground to say it's down. Taraj Smith, the nose man, having a big first half. That's Tracy Mile, who was also in there with pressure.
Mike, you see the inexperience of John Walsh. You know, he's not able to pull the trigger right there. Maybe his receiver's covered, but he's got to be able to get off and get to the second or third receiver, which he's not doing so far tonight.
End of the first quarter, and San Diego State with a 14-7 lead over BYU. Brigham Young, where San Diego State has a 7-point lead, and BYU facing a 2nd and 26 from inside its own 5. Willis on the sweep. This play has been very, very good all night long. And Willis out to the 18-yard line, taken out of bounds by Darrell Lewis and Gary Taylor. 13-yard gain, and Willis up to 48 yards in the first half.
You're going to see the guard, Mike Empey. He's going to pull and lead this play. Now, both the wide receivers are cracking. Now, watch Empey. He's going to block the corner. See the running back, Jamal Willis, actually push him in there. Here you're going to see the crackback by Eric Drage, number 18, and that's why they're having success. They're able to crack and get people in the corner.
Still 3rd and long. Pass complete to Drage at the 30, his first catch of the night. That is very close to a first down. It all depends on the mark.
Talk about BYU's money player. It's Eric Drage. Roger French, the offensive line coach and coordinator, told us, he said, when he's hot, we're hot. And LaVell Edwards just speaks so highly of this young receiver.
Just got across the 30-yard line. It's a first down, and that should be a confidence builder for John Walsh.
There's Roger French. He's the offensive coordinator. Norm Chow calls the plays down to Roger French. Passes it to the quarterbacks.
Hall and Willis to set that. Willis again. Little stutter step going nowhere this time. He'll lose a yard. And it was the strong safety, Chris Johnson, who was right on the line of scrimmage when the play started.
What's interesting in an 8-man front, you play the strong safety sometimes up on the line of scrimmage. Chris Johnson, number 15, and then Robert Griffith on the other side, 34. They're run players in this 8-man front. Sometimes they have to be a linebacker. Sometimes they have to play like a cornerback.
2nd and 11 for Walsh. Another short set, the quick out, nearly picked off again. This time, Damon Pierre, first-team all-WAC safety who moved a corner this year, timed it beautifully and got a hand on it.
The key in this is Otis Sterling, number 80, makes the break, but Damon Pierre just breaks on the ball well. Here you see the blitz by the 8-man front. Both outside players are coming. So you get man coverage on the outside. Would look to me like eventually BYU will try the out and up because there's no respect for the out by the San Diego State corners.
3rd and 11 to the shotgun. No pressure on Walsh all day to throw deep down the middle. And incomplete. Anderson couldn't hold it. Pierre was with him and hit him right after he touched the ball.
Man coverage, they blitzed and twisted on the inside of the defensive line. Damon Pierre, who was a free safety last year, moved over to corner this year for San Diego State, is in good shape, comes back on the ball, and is able again to use his right arm and strip Tyler Anderson from making the catch. Watch his right arm, Damon Pierre. Come in and strip the ball. He pulls his arm away. He's able to cause the deflection.
That's 2 nice defensive plays in a row for Damon Pierre, the senior out of Glendale, Arizona. Flags are down, and they'll kill this play.
Mike, BYU has to try to throw deep. They've got to get these corners off of them on the out routes, so they have to make them defend the deep pass. Even if they don't complete it, throw it.
Well, that time they threw it nearly complete.
Plenty offense, 5-yard penalty.
So BYU will be backed up to a 4th and 16. They'll have to punt, and there's Pierre. He was moved a corner this year, so Darrell Lewis would have a spot at free safety, much more suited to that spot. And normally you do it the other way around. You move corners to safety. Herrick's had a good night punting the ball. Peterson waits at his own 35. San Diego State, no rush, setting up the return. Pretty kick. Peterson driven all the way back to the 21. Trying to find a seam, buried at the 29. 65,000 fans here at BYU. They have seen Marshall Faulk carry for only 40 yards in the first half. Low for him. Lewis with a 53-yard interception return, which put San Diego State on the board early. Walsh 4 out of 11, and Hall was 70 yards on the ground and only 3 carries. He hasn't touched the ball since he had that 66-yard burst. Faulk on the toss. Has to cut it back. We get about 5. Todd Herget, number 36. Canadian player out of Alberta, was in on the tackle.
BYU's making a move with their defense. Just before the snap of the ball, they're shifting to try to confuse the offensive blocking schemes of San Diego State.
And they seem totally determined that they're not going to let Faulk outside. Here's the rushing yard stat so far. Faulk with all those yards, and BYU dominating on the ground.
He can make up for that in 1 carry.
He sure can. Here's the toss as they try a little different play, and once again, BYU will not let him get the corner, and will have a face mask on this play. Herget and Dawson were over there to make the tackle. One of them got a handful of Marshall Faulk's face mask. Could have been the corner, Patrick Mitchell, too. But as good as Faulk is, you'd be tempted to grab anything you could find.
BYU needs to get penetration. You're going to see the counter play. The guards are pulling, but watch how they're able to get up the field and make the play before Marshall Faulk can turn the corner. Patrick Mitchell, number 30, was able to get up the field.
And it was Mitchell. Matter of fact, may have gotten it twice. Mitchell, a sophomore who really has a score to settle in this game. He was burned badly in his first career start last year versus this ball club, and then played extremely well after that. Has great speed, 4.3, 4.40. Now the officials seem to be having trouble distinguishing where they're going to mark the football after the face mask penalty. Still have yet to move the chains. And now they go. And the official spot will be the San Diego State 48-yard line, 1st and 10. Lowry, very confident young man. Knows he has a great ground game, and when you gear up to stop that, he's got some good receivers to go to. Faulk again, straight up the middle, big hole. Burst to the BYU 41-yard line. Nathan Hall was in on the stop. We're in Provo, Utah, where 65,000 are watching their Cougars being beaten by San Diego State. 14-7. The Aztecs got on the board first on an interception return. Faulk now 10 carries, 56 yards. And he'll be a pass receiver this time. What a great move. Nearly got away from Tarleton, and an excellent tackle by the junior from Sacramento. There's another flag down, however. And Faulk is a good receiver. This call will go against the Aztecs, and a hold will back them up 10 yards.
When you're a good receiver like Marshall Faulk is, and you put him outside, here's Marshall Faulk. Look, there's nobody on him here. He's uncovered receiver, so David Lowry just steps up, throws him the football. The blocking occurs. All he has to do is break that one tackle for a big gain, but no one covering him over there. It's the uncovered receiver rule.
Mike, he went to visits to Nebraska, Miami, among other powerhouse football schools. What was the reason that he didn't go to one of those schools and went to San Diego State?
San Diego State promised him he could be a running back. The other people were recruiting him mainly as a defensive back.
I think San Diego State made a good choice. Faulk is out of there right now. That's Wayne Pittman who will get a carry and crosses the 40 down to the Brigham Young 39-yard line.
Well, when you're playing in altitude and you're playing against BYU, it's important to substitute and have Marshall Faulk where he's going to be very rested in the fourth quarter. So that's why they bring Wayne Pittman in, number 44. Man to the right is Curtis Johnson. He's the coach that recruited Marshall Faulk. He had some background in New Orleans, so that helped him a lot in recruitment.
They give him a lifetime contract for that?
Should.
Lowry with a quick set throw, sideline, complete to Scott. Scott forced out of bounds by Mitchell at the 29-yard line.
Mike, those lifetime contracts don't last long.
He speaks from experience.
10 years can turn into 10 weeks.
Yeah, it's all in your definition, isn't it? Scott, who already has the touchdown catch, and that is another first down for San Diego State. And outside of the one drive, they have dominated the first half. Pittman stays in on this series. He'll get the carry. And most of San Diego State's running success has been straight up the middle.
It's been to the tight end side also because they're going with 3 receivers and they're running to the tight end.
Tackle was made by number 49, Nathan Hall, and number 36, Target.
Number 47, Ted Dawson, the linebacker. He's on the back. You see, just goes by a little bit too far and is blocked outside by Mike Alexander, number 54. Good cutback by Wayne Pittman.
Dawson out of Los Angeles, 2nd and 6. Faulk back in at tailback. And Faulk will get the carry, and he is hit in the backfield. Lenny Gomes, who is having a huge night as the nose man.
Came right behind the pulling guard and tackle on the counter play. As soon as he seen both the guard and tackle pull, number 90, Lenny Gomes, watch 90. Lenny Gomes come right behind the pulling guard and make the play on Marshall Faulk. Nice job reading by the defensive lineman.
If you follow a guard, you either get to the ball or you get trapped and really look silly.
Well, he looked great on that one because he was able to get in the backfield and stop Marshall Faulk.
3rd and 11. Lowry, complete but short of a first down. Got it out to Ray Peterson, the H-back. Vic Tarleton was right with him. And it will bring up 4th and about 3 or 4.
Now this is interesting now. This puts them in a curious position. But now I see the place kicker is coming on the field. Andy Trackus, number 14. Al Luganville told us if it was short yardage, he might go for it against BYU.
Trackus missed 2 potential game-winning field goals against Southern Cal last week. Has had a history of missing big kicks. This will be from 40 yards away. Has the distance and dead center. Andy Trackus, the senior from San Diego, knocks it through, and it's a 10-point lead. Football game, and the sun starting to go down on the stadium with 65,000 people in it. They're rather restless right now as their Cougars are down 17-7 to the Aztecs of San Diego State. Trackus set to kick off. Hughes and Christensen are deep. And John Walsh has had a rugged first half. Trackus nails another one. And BYU will have to start from its own 20. Let's check in with Jerry Punch.
Guys, a defensive adjustment for San Diego State. A minute ago, defensive coordinator Barry Lamb and line coach Alima Afoa said we cannot give John Walsh all afternoon to throw the ball. When he's in the shotgun, he has all day. So we're going to automatically audibilize. What we're going to do, if we hear him yelling gun, 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 we're going to go into our eat defense. If we're already in pressure, we'll stay there. But if we're in zone, we're going to yell eat and come after him. Back upstairs.
Well, when a quarterback's in the shotgun, he gets a better look, so it's tough to blitz a quarterback in the shotgun. He may allow John Walsh to have a chance for a big play.
Four-man rush. Walsh has time. Drains across the 40. Spun down by Robert Griffith, the dime back. Now, Walsh looks like the kind of a quarterback, Mike, that needs to throw in rhythm.
He needs to get in rhythm. He needs to look past not only the first receiver, but able to go to the second receiver. You see Eric Drage just coming across the defense in man coverage, find the open seam, sit down, get the pass from John Walsh.
And that's what Drage does best, find the open spot. Drage, 2 catches, 37 yards after being shut out early. Delay. Hall. This guy is a good-looking back. Down to the 44-yard line of San Diego State. Damon Pierre had to come up from the corner to make the stop.
It's tough to run against an 8-man front, so what do? You put 3 receivers in the game, and now you spread out that strong safety and that nickel back, and now you play against 6 people inside, and that's why they're able to have success on that run.
When a huge offensive line just walls off whoever is left. Another first down, BYU. Over one tackler, looking for a block. Nailed at the 15-yard line. Robert Griffith, the linebacker, pounded him down. But Kalen Hall out of Las Vegas with another big burst up the middle.
Right guard Evan Pilgrim, number 70, is going to trap. There's the trap on number 48, which opens Kalen Hall. Now, number 4, Tyler Anderson, is downfield, doing a pretty good job of getting in way of the defensive back.
Willis back to the run, inside the 10 to the 5, knocked out of bounds. They'll mark him out at the 7-yard line. Boy, you hear everything said about Marshall Faulk, and certainly he is a legitimate Heisman candidate. But how about Hall? 5 carries in the first half, 111 yards.
Now, BYU's having success because they're running inside with Hall, trapping, then getting Jamal Willis on the outside. Here comes the sweep again with Jamal Willis. Blocked by Hall. There's the crackbacks. You'll see the cracks. Now he's on the corner. Eric Sutton, number 24, has to make the play.
2nd and about 2. Hall. Buried as he got to the 6. Sean Smith, number 99, the transfer from Notre Dame, planted him.
San Diego State now is again facing the no huddle. Now they're going to huddle on this play. BYU's trying to get more plays off and not allowing San Diego State to substitute.
3rd, call a yard.
Quarterback sneak.
And now Walsh backs out. And we'll use the timeout. I think the movement on that San Diego State defensive line confused him a little bit. 6:26 to go in the half. Back in a moment. And it is a 1st and goal, Cougars. Well, Mike, they've piled up a lot of yards to only have 7 points to show for it.
It's an important drive for them to knock it in against the San Diego State defense. San Diego State in the last play pinched their defensive line inside to stop the inside play.
Hall is the deep man in the backfield. Rex, the tight end, splits out as the only wide receiver. Hall hit at the line of scrimmage, may have lost a yard. San Diego State with Ramondo Stallings, number 90, crashing in there. One of the strongest players on this team. Sat out this spring because of a chronic neck injury. Trying to get some strength back in there. You see the big horse collar on it. Stallings last year when we did the San Diego State game, they were very high on him.
Good height, 6'7" for a defensive lineman. They may force BYU into a play-action pass in this situation.
2nd and goal from the 5. Drage and Sterling are the wideouts. Play action. Walsh under pressure, just threw it out of bounds. Walsh out of Torrance, California. And they said this was the closest quarterback battle, the only one they could remember that was anywhere near this close, when Mark Wilson and Jim McMahon fought it out to see who was going to start for LaBelle Edwards.
We've had a cookie cutter making quarterbacks out here.
This drive, 75 yards. They have reached the San Diego State 5-yard line, but now they face a 3rd and goal. Walsh looking toward the sideline, real slow getting a play in.
Don't have enough people on the field.
Right. And some confusion on the sideline, so they have to use their 2nd of 3 timeouts. Clock stops with 5:17 to go first half.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ernst Holman.
You had mentioned before that it appeared to you that Walsh was picking out one receiver and staying with him. That time, at least, he looked for Rex and then went back to the left side and found Drage.
Rex was covered, but he was able to come off and find Eric Drage. A nice job by John Walsh of finding the 2nd receiver.
Drage with his 3rd touchdown catch of the year, and Lauder will attempt the point after to cut it to 3, and does. Another fine drive by BYU, 80 yards, and a clutch 3rd down touchdown pass.
Eric Drage, they do a nice job of breaking out of the move, and here he's just wide open. He was able to get into the defensive back and then break and just create a seam. See John Walsh looking for the tight end. Now he looks off, finds Eric Drage, his money receiver, for the touchdown.
And he had 2 steps on Gary Taylor, and Walsh knew it. Drilled it in for his 2nd touchdown pass of the ball game. And BYU is back to within 3 points. Walsh in a situation, Mike, where he won the starting quarterback job only 3 days before the first game against Clements. I think he would have a tendency to be looking over his shoulder if he's not playing well.
I think he does, but what I think happened to him was because he had such a tough competition in fall camp, that made him a better quarterback because he knew he had to perform every day in practice and learn as much as he could because he had Steve Clemens right behind him.
The crowd back into it now as BYU has scored its 2nd touchdown, and Keith Williams, the deep man, hearing the cheers of 65,000 waiting for the kickoff of David Lauder. Lauder in practice showed quite a leg. He was kicking field goals that would have been good from 65 yards and booming kickoffs. Got all of this one and drove Williams 7 yards deep. San Diego State will start from its own 20. Major League Baseball comes your way tomorrow night. We have a live doubleheader at 7:30. Most of you will see Milwaukee at Baltimore. Robin Yount with his 3,000th hit. Congratulations to a great player, great person. And the Orioles, of course, really in that scrap of that pennant race. Then at 10:30, most of you will get to see the Cincinnati Reds and the San Diego Padres. What a year Sheffield is having. Holy cow. 5:12 to go first half. Faulk as they try to get back to what they do best. And Faulk will only gain about 3. Wrapped up Herget, had him around the neck, and it looked like another face mask, and that's what Faulk is indicating. Ted Dawson had him low, but Herget looked like he got to face mask at least once, if not twice. Faulk has been stymied here in the first half. 12 carries, 54 yards. A lot of guys should be happy with 54 yards in the first half, but that's about half of what he normally gets.
Marshall Faulk just keeps twisting, and there's the face mask. 36, Todd Herget.
Second face mask penalty that has been incurred by Marshall Faulk in this first half.
1st and 2 yards to go.
And Faulk will pick up that first down. Gang tackle as he got to the 31-yard line.
The tight splits, and they keep trying to run inside against that big defensive front of Brigham Young. Maybe once, if he could get the ball outside on a toss sweep, they may have some success trying to get Marshall outside.
It was a first down. The ball spotted at the 32. 4 minutes, 29 seconds to go in the half. Play action this time by Lowry. Time to throw, wants to go deep. Throws it up for grabs. Picked off, intercepted by Derwin Gray. Bad pass by Lowry. He just threw it as far as he could, and Gray was playing center field.
Yeah, he probably had memories of last year when he was throwing all those long bombs, and he just made a bad decision. He had Darnay Scott on the curl route wide open, but he just chose the wrong receiver. You're going to see Darnay Scott on the outside. Look how wide open he is, but he fell down. Tried to go deep to number 81, Keith Williams, but Derwin Gray's playing center field for the interception.
Now BYU with a chance to tie or take the lead as they get the ball back at their own 27. Hall. Not this time. Linebacker Mark Roberts out of Bakersfield, California, saw it coming and knocked Hall down in the backfield.
You know what happens to a quarterback a lot of times in college football? The other team, BYU, had the ball for a length of time, drove down for the score. What you want to do is force the quarterback into pressure situations with fewer opportunities. You get David Lowry on the field, and all of a sudden he wants to make something happen, and just made a bad choice through the interception.
After all, a young man who threw for more than 500 yards against his team a year ago. 2nd and 12 now, BYU. Pressure. And incomplete. Nice defensive play by the linebacker, Robert Griffin. He was out there covering the tight end, Byron Rex, and got a hand on it. They've done a pretty good job on Rex, too.
They have. Watch the blitz of San Diego State bringing the linebacker. Number 40, Chad Provincial. They put a little pressure. You get the hands up in the quarterback's face, make him throw over the hands. I don't think John Walsh saw Robert Griffith, number 34, against Byron Rex.
3rd and 12. The numbers on Walsh. The 2 touchdowns, the most impressive out of those numbers. 4-man rush. Walsh being chased now. Not a lot of mobility, but he got away. Walsh still alive. Floats it downfield. Almost intercepted. Intended for Rex. And nearly picked up by Chris Johnson. Well, Walsh certainly not the scrambler that Clements is, the man who fought him for the quarterback job, but he was a little nifty on that one.
He's able to get away from the first defender, but then he made a bad choice to throw the football. Ball was almost intercepted.
Sean Smith nearly had the sack, but somehow Walsh escaped. And now Herrick will have to come on 4th and 12. So BYU cannot take advantage of Lowry's bad pass that resulted in an interception. And Peterson waits at his own 35. He's got a roll out here. Midfield. Herrick, the punter, takes him down at the 30-yard line. A beautiful return by Ray Peterson. 32 yards after a punt of 37.
You always tell your punt receiver, you have to get by the first man. Now he gets by the first, and then he gets to the picket fence. Watch the block set up. Now he has to outrun the kicker.
Pretty
Joe
good tackle
Herrick.
for a punter.
Every now and then they have to make a tackle.
San Diego State 1st and 10 at the 30. Faulk nearly broke this one, got about 8 yards. Brad Clark, the safety, had to make the stop. Faulk does not have the great numbers tonight, and people will say, well, he plays in this conference. But look at the rushing yards Marshall Faulk racked up against Miami, and that great defense more than all of these teams. Look at the bottom, Nebraska and Penn State. This guy can run against anybody. And like most great backs, he'll just wear you down. 2nd and 2. Faulk again, cuts it outside. 15, stiff arm to the 10. Brad Clark again, the safety, had to shove him out of bounds.
Brad Ingles, the offensive coordinator, I'm sure he told David Lowery, this is going to be a Marshall Faulk drive. We want to be patient and take what they give us. Here's the handoff, but see how he's able to make that cut and get outside with a speed so quick on his cutting ability.
Great vision, able to see where the running lane is. 79 yards, 15 carries. 1st and goal from the 9. 2:26 to go, first half. Faulk. Leaning forward, gang tackle at the 2, a gain of another 7.
This is a Marshall Faulk drive. Now they're going to give him the ball and just let him stuff it in that end zone. It's interesting, Lavelle Edwards said that every time he sees the tackle being made on Marshall Faulk, he's always heading forward. Look at his cutting ability. He's got great eyes and movement in the hole. If he sees a little opening, he's able to adjust and make the little move to avoid the tackle.
And just never stopped driving the legs. 2nd and goal from the 2. Faulk again. Touchdown. You said it was a Marshall Faulk drive, and he did it all himself.
After that last interception, I'm sure they gathered the offense on the side today. We're giving the ball to Marshall. You guys knock him off the ball, he'll do the rest. Look at him go airborne. Try to break the plane with the ball. He's in the end zone for the score. Look at the offensive line, how low they get, and they're able to knock the defensive front of BYU off the ball.
4 plays on the drive. Marshall Faulk carried every time and scores. He now has 88 yards in the first half. Trackus for the point after. And has it. So San Diego State with a quick answer to Brigham Young's touchdown. And it goes back to a 10-point lead as you see the Heisman candidate now up to 88 yards. Marshall Faulk has his team up on BYU 24-14. Al Luganbill knows he has the best team he has had since he has come to San Diego State, the preseason pick of many to win the Western Athletic Conference. And tonight is the test. Second game of the year. It may be a little early for most people to say what a crucial game it is, but these are the 2 favorites in this conference.
But this is a good conference, and there's depth in this conference, so somebody else could pop up there also.
Andy Trackus to kick it away to Hughes and Christensen. Christensen 4 yards deep. Couple of good place-kicking performances so far tonight. Neither team has had much opportunity to return a kickoff. The scoring drive, 30 yards. Marshall Faulk carried each time, got all 30, including the 2-yard touchdown run. He is up to 88 yards on the Heisman watch tonight. And in a couple of weeks, we will get to see, the next 2 and 3 weeks, we will get to see the other top Heisman candidates.
Mike, San Diego State will blitz here and try to force a turnover.
Let's see what Walsh does on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Pressured out of the pocket. Dumps it off for Hall. Couldn't make the catch, and he is level. Hall was bombed by Sutton. And Chris Johnson came over from the safety spot. Man, oh man, did they unload on him.
A little late getting the ball to Kalen Hall. He really didn't have time. Should have made the catch, but was hit right away. I think BYU needs to run a trap up inside and try to get some yardage here to give John Walsh this offense a little confidence.
Walsh only 6 out of 17 right now. Pressured out of the pocket again. Tries to dump this one low and does, complete to Hall. And Hall dragged down by Mark Roberts, the linebacker. Somehow, Walsh got away, and there is a flag down. And it's Ramondo Stallings who is complaining bitterly about something. Well, Walsh doesn't move around very quickly, but he seems to be very difficult to bring down.
He's avoiding the tackle and able to make the little outlet pass and then picks up the 15-yard penalty. That's something Al Luganville doesn't want. He doesn't want these kind of penalties. They really had John Walsh. They just couldn't bring him down. Mondo Stallings pushing John Walsh down. I think that was the call.
It was, because the original hit was just fine. But it was the aftermath that cost him the 15 yards and no reason for it. Big break for BYU, puts him out to the 50. Here's the blitz. Walsh unloads to Rex, and Rex is wrapped up by Darrell Lewis, the sure tackle in single coverage.
But Dr. Jerry Punch was right. He said when they went to the shotgun that they were going to blitz him, but that gives the opportunity for John Walsh to hit the big play because he has a great view of being in the shotgun.
Clock running down to 1:04 in the half. More pressure. Walsh nailed from behind, and the ball goes sailing out of bounds, intended for Rex. And Walsh will be a little slow getting up this time. Tracy Mile, number 58, had a free shot at him from behind as he was backing away from another rush.
See John Walsh scrambling, moving. He's very fortunate again that he didn't get the ball knocked out of his hand by the defensive lineman of San Diego State. San Diego State's defensive front, the 4 people are getting pressure on John Walsh.
Mike, he's also very fortunate he could get up after that. 3rd and 9. Snap. Walsh comes down with it. Has time, hangs in the pocket, throws complete. It'll be enough for a first down. The catch made by Bryce Doman, gain of 12.
Well, they blitzed the shotgun again, so you have one-on-one on the outside. Bryce Doman just ran a deep curl route, and John Walsh was able, because of the shotgun, to get it off.
Now, BYU used 2 of its timeouts early, so they only have 1 left. Clock down to 49 seconds. Delay to Hall. Very shifty. This time, though, he's wrapped up. Number 99, Sean Smith, the inside linebacker, makes sure Hall didn't get more than 3.
I think BYU would be a little better off right now of going to the shotgun. Even though they're going to get the blitz, he gets more time to see the rush.
Well, they've got to hustle here. It's down to 26 seconds and ticking away. Comes the blitz again. Walsh knocked out of the hands of the intended receiver by Gary Taylor. Drage was out there. The pass was on target, but good coverage by Taylor, who comes up limping.
Gary Taylor with a good break, number 23. Look at the coverage. Now watch him break on the ball and is able to get there and knock the ball away from Eric Drage.
Boy, he was playing for the short pattern, too, not respecting Drage downfield.
Watch for the post pattern here to Eric Drage with the shotgun.
3rd and 8. Another high snap. Walsh under pressure, throws as he falls. Drage at the 20. Drage down to the 15-yard line, and they will use their last timeout to stop the clock. With 8 seconds to go, Drage now 4 catches, 62 yards.
Keep talking about the shotgun, but it gives the quarterback more time and a better view. Now, San Diego State on this play went to a zone coverage. Eric Drage just goes down and runs a hook pattern, and a little out hook, just sits there and gets the football, now tries to make some yardage after the catch. Missed tackles by San Diego State. Now BYU has burnt their last timeout.
So they have 8 seconds left. You send the field goal team on right away?
No, I'm going to take one shot at the end zone here. I'm going to try to throw the post, and I'm going to look for Eric Drage. I'm going to try to get the ball to him or Byron Rex, but I have to make sure that the ball's in the end zone. I don't want him tackled and then the clock to run out.
And you've got to make sure the quarterback will throw it away in time if he gets rushed.
He can't get sacked, but it looks like Lavelle Edwards is making his decision right now by sending in the field goal kicker.
Lauder as the spot will be at the 23. Lauder hit his only try of the year last week against Texas El Paso. This will be a 33-yard shot. And it would cut the lead to 7. Lauder set all kinds of kicking records at Ricks College. And pumps that one through. No problem from 33 yards. So Lavelle Edwards wanted the sure 3, and it's kind of tough to argue with the decision.
No, I think it's a good decision. You get the 3 points, you get a little motivation just before half. Now you squib the kick and get out of here.
Coming up at halftime, guess what? Dion is going to play for the Atlanta Falcons, and we will have our halftime blitz coming your way in just a few moments. We are in Provo, Utah at Brigham Young, where the 2 favorites in the WAC have scored 41 points in the first half after a slow start.
Basketball teams would like to score as many points as these 2 teams score.
Last year was a 52-52 tie after San Diego State had taken a 45-17 lead. They had it marked down, ready to go home, and boom.
Don't think that's not in their mindset either. And
sure.
What's important in this game is the 4th quarter conditioning.
And as you mentioned before, playing at 4,500 feet above sea level here in Provo. Now Luganville, terribly disappointed in that game a year ago. He wants to get revenge here. Williams, the deep man, we'll see if he gets any chance to get it from Lauder with 5 seconds to go in the half. And Lauder will kick away. And Williams, 10 yards deep in the end zone, will have to down it there. So San Diego State will have 5 seconds on the clock from their own 20. A lot of coaches have different philosophies at this point. Go ahead and take a shot, just throw it up for grabs, or a nice safe play. What do you like?
I'm giving the ball to Marshall Faulk here. I don't care what the situation is. I'm giving it to Marshall Faulk. Number 28's getting the football here.
Well, it's not a bad idea. I mean, he can go 80 as well as anybody else. Al Luganville has seen his team take a 7-point lead with 5 seconds to go in the half.
They're just going to run the quarterback just kneel down.
And they will down it. Taking no chances here and letting the clock run out. Preserving a 24-17 lead. Marshall Faulk, 88 yards in the first half. San Diego State with a 7-point lead over the homestanding Cougars of BYU and their sophomore quarterback John Walsh, who has a pair of touchdown passes. Chris Fowler is next after this. Where San Diego State is leading Brigham Young 24-17 in a critical Western Athletic Conference contest. Even though it is only the second week of the season, these are the 2 favorites for the title, and the winner will certainly have a leg up. Mike Patrick along with Mike Gottfried. Welcome back to Provo, Utah. A lot of points as we would expect in the first half, but it was a defensive change that got us going tonight.
Well, San Diego State decided to go with a free safety in center field. Put the free safety there to try to help against the pass attack of BYU. See Darrell Lewis here, the free safety. Circle him. Now he has his eyes on John Walsh, the quarterback. He'll shadow him and move with him and then break on the ball and be able to pick up the interception. See him sit in center field. Now he's right with John Walsh. Now he sees Byron Rex, breaks on the ball, gets the interception, and returns it for a score.
53-yard touchdown return, and that made it 7-0. Of course, one of the big stories of this game, Marshall Faulk, the Heisman watch, had 220 yards last week against Southern Cal. He had a good first half, but Kalen Hall had a better one for Brigham Young.
When you play BYU, you got to make sure you don't get caught up in pass, because they can run the football. Here you see the angle blocks, the guard's going to pull, and a good block by Jamal Willis, and the little quick trap inside to Kalen Hall. Now, Kalen Hall breaks outside. Good run, keeps his feet moving, breaks all the way down the sideline to the 5-yard line. the key in this ball game is the rushing yardage BYU's they've been able to have.
They are actually out rushing San Diego State, and Hall with an advantage over Faulk. And look at that average, 12.4 yards per carry. Coach, as we go into the second half, these teams both so explosive on offense, what is going to be the difference?
I think the fourth quarter, the best conditioned football team will win this game.
All right, we'll find out exactly who it is. Right now, San Diego State by a touchdown. Back with the third quarter kickoff in a moment. Provo, Utah, and San Diego State with a 7-point lead as we are ready to start the second half. San Diego State will receive the kickoff. Keith Williams, the deep man, waiting for number 20, David Lauder, to kick it away. Williams in the center of your screen, number 81. This one is driven totally out of the end zone. Let's check in with Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Guys, at halftime, Aztec coach Al Luganville told his young players we're going to have to dominate on offense and defense. But one important thing to remember, we're not going to win this game with muscle. We're going to win it right here. Mentally, we're going to win this ball game by thinking. Also, they have lost one player, defensive end Tyrone Morrison has a groin sprain. Will play no more tonight. Lavelle Edwards told his players, we are not executing at all on offense. We're playing well enough on defense to possibly stay in the game, but offensively, we're not doing anything right. Back upstairs.
When they have more rushing yards, Jerry, than passing yards, that is not BYU's offense that the people here come to know and love. Marshall Faulk starts the second half, gets about 4. Stopped by Kevin Nickel, the outside linebacker. And when you take a look at the first half stats, BYU with more rushing yards than passing yards, and they are out rushing San Diego State, 161. Hall got most of that, Coach.
San Diego State needs some misdirection in their offense. They need to fake the ball to Marshall Faulk and get some rollouts with David Lowry, some misdirection against the defense of BYU.
Second and 6. Faulk on the toss. They kept him inside most of the game, and they do it again. Reverses field. He's got a chance. Lowry with a big block. Cut down at the 18-yard line, and a flag goes down late. And it looked like Faulk was hit late. Nickel and Derwin Gray made the tackle, and he almost broke that one.
Boy, he did, Mike. He was real close, but that's what I'm talking about. They need some misdirection in the offense. They need to fake the pitch or fake the dive play to Marshall Faulk. Bring David Lowry out the other side. He'd be wide open to throw the football. But watch BYU, the pursuit angles, they're so intent on not allowing Marshall Faulk to beat them. Just a great athletic ability of Marshall Faulk to be able, look, David Lowry came back in with a nice block.
He cuts down Greg Pitts.
Well, I liked him the other day. He kind of fell into Greg Pitts, but I'll tell you what, he got the job. And he's a young guy. When you talk to him, he's a cocky guy at quarterback. He believes in himself, and he's the person that sprung Marshall Faulk on that play.
Pitts is 6'5", 275, and the junior quarterback David Lowry took him on.
The coaches will love him in the film room. Watch David Lowry kind of leans into 99 Greg Pitts, but you'd lean into him too. He's 6'5" and 275 pounds.
And Pitts being assisted off the field, limping as he goes.
Would Joe Theismann ever make that block?
Yes, sir.
He would?
Yes, he would. He'd do the same thing Lowry did, duck his head and say, oh, man.
After the game, do your car theater. Stop at the sign of Sinclair's.
Some tough things going to be for Greg Pitts when they say, hey, that quarterback knocked you out of the game.
Sinclair Oil Corporation, 8,000 sponsor of BYU Sports.
Spot the ball after the roughing penalty up to 33. It is a first down for San Diego State. So even when Marshall Faulk is stopped, he has been roughed on one play, and they've grabbed his face mask on 2 others. Lowry, deep sideline. Nice coverage by Vic Tarleton on Darnay Scott. And Lowry obviously upset with himself. Jerry Punch down on the sideline. What do you have, Doctor?
Guys, if things weren't difficult enough for the BYU defense in the second half, they have lost 3 key players. They have lost co-captain Shad Hansen, an inside linebacker, to a concussion. Todd Herget, the Canadian, has a bad right ankle sprain, and Bill Bryant has a pulled hamstring, outside linebacker. None of those three will play in the second half. Back upstairs.
Two of your starting linebackers, too, Jerry, including Hanson, the leading tackler, so that's a huge blow. And here is Faulk, cuts it outside. Great speed, 40. Got a block downfield. Tarleton got a hand on him as he went out of bounds at the 30. A gain of 37, and you knew he was going to break one sooner or later.
He caught BYU in man coverage, and Marshall Faulk is so patient. He just waits on the blocks. Here's a little cutback play. BYU overran the play, and I was talking about pursuit, but the nice job is the receivers in the secondary. You see number 80, Jake Nyberg, just occupying the defensive backs long enough for Marshall Faulk to make some cuts.
He started 8 games in his career. 8 times he's gone over 100 yards, 123 tonight on 20 carries and a touchdown. Pittman is in there at tailback now, giving Faulk a breather, and he'll pick up a couple.
San Diego State coaches are letting Marshall Faulk take himself out when he's tired. Just like North Carolina in basketball, they raise their hand and they come off the field, and they want him fresh in the fourth quarter.
He's had 3 games in his career over 200. And he's just a marvel to watch. 3 wide receivers to the near side.
Impressively hit.
Yes. Doesn't get many opportunities. Lowry had to really extend the handoff that time to get it to him and put him down to the 26-yard line, where Kevin Nickel made the tackle, number 55. Last 8 ball games. Look at the rushing numbers. And when you get to Miami, 154. As a matter of fact, the team that's done best against him in that span is Brigham Young with 118. And he has the fourth quarter and 12:52 of the third period to go. 3rd and 5 for the Aztecs. Blitz. Lowry with time, has man-to-man coverage. Darnay Scott with a nice move to the 10-yard line. Scott so very dangerous after he makes the catch, and a good job of picking up the blitz.
Good play call by Brad Ingles, the offensive coordinator, because here comes the blitz. It's just a 3-step drop, 5-yard out route to Darnay Scott. He's not satisfied with the first down. He's just trying to get the touchdown.
And Hassan McCullough, number 1, has seen all he ever wants to see of Darnay Scott.
Big cushion with the blitz. Just too big a cushion for Darnay Scott. Too good an athlete to be off of that much.
Scott, 5 catches, 75 yards. First down, Aztecs. Faulk back in. Faulk with the carry. Cuts it outside. Marshall Faulk, touchdown. First it looked like he'd get about 3, then maybe 5, then maybe 7. He got all 10 and a touchdown.
He made it all happen himself. He was going to be stopped in the backfield because BYU gets penetration, but you see the little cut. Now he sets it up on the outside, starts inside, breaks outside, his speed to the flag.
And Derwin Gray, number 5, looked like he would be able to get there to force him out of bounds short of the flag, but he never even touched him. Andy Trackus for the point after. It's 30-17 San Diego State. Larry Maxson is the holder. Trackus knocks it through, and once again, the 65,000 here at Cougar Stadium are quieted, watching Marshall Faulk do his thing. Faulk with 45 yards on that 80-yard drive, and San Diego State has gone up by 2 touchdowns. And the scoring drive, 80 yards, 6 run plays, 2 pass, and Marshall Faulk with an outstanding run got the last 10. Faulk now 21 carries, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns, and we have most of the second half to go. Trackus kicking off. Taken by Christensen. got it back to the 25-yard line. Let's go back to the last touchdown, Mike.
Mark Ziegler, the tight end, is going to seal off right here. He's going to get the backer inside, which opens the play to go outside. Watch Ziegler block number 32, which opens the play. Now, you see right here, the two blocks, Carson Liamidi, number 71, on the backer, the middle linebacker. Good blocks, opened it up for Marshall Faulk to break outside.
Brigham Young now down by 2 touchdowns. And the sophomore quarterback, John Walsh, trying to respond. Resets the offense. Comes the blitz. He wants the screen. And throws intended for Willis. But San Diego State did a nice job of getting penetration and having players around the screen.
Well, when you throw a screen, you at least have to brush block the defensive lineman. Sebastian Glaze, number 93, no one even touched him, so he puts pressure on John Walsh. Didn't give him time to set it up. Watch number 93, Glaze. Nobody touches him, so you really don't have time to set the screen. John Walsh just threw it away. Have to brush him a little bit, Mike.
Yeah, Glaze was licking his chops. 2nd and 10. Walsh has time, just sitting in the pocket. Deep over the middle to Rex, the tight end. He's brought down by Chris Johnson, the strong safety, gain of 20.
In the second half, if you're BYU and Norm Chow, the coach who's calling the plays for BYU, you figure that the pass rush may get tired a little bit. It looked like that there was not much of a pass rush there. John Walsh was able to sit in there, find his tight end down the field, 15 yards. So it looked like the pass rush may get a little tired.
Walsh, as a high school senior, the Southern California Player of the Year, threw for over 4,000 yards in his senior season alone. Very accurate. Here comes the blitz. Nice block back there by Hall to save his quarterback, and Rex can't handle it, covered by Chris Johnson. Kalen Hall stepped up and may have saved John Walsh's life with a blitz pickup.
What happens when they get in the 46 defense, it's real tough to get the linebackers. It's tough to block those 2 linebackers. But number 24, Kalen Hall, is going to step up and get the block to save John Walsh, give him some time to get it to his tight end. He threw a pretty good pass.
Hall said he wanted to come to become a more complete player at this school. And he showed you his ability to pass block there. On 3rd and 10, Willis will try to get it on the sweep. Flag is down, and so is Willis. Run out of bounds after a gain of only 2. Excuse me, of 2nd and 10.
Usually when you have motion like that, maybe the motion man turned up a little too soon for BYU. Usually that's what occurs.
And I think that's exactly what did occur. The coach's eye hits it on the nose again.
Roger French, the offensive coordinator, trying to settle his ball club down on the sideline.
They'll turn that one down because it was a gain of only 3 and bring up a 3rd and 7. Sending Anderson in with the play. BYU may have the best speed at wide receiver they've had in years and years, but they haven't been able to show it very much tonight. To the shotgun. And San Diego State does not come with a blitz this time.
Oh, come on, move.
Walsh floats this one downfield, complete to Hall. And Hall lost his balance and went down at the 21. Walsh had all day to throw, then the protection finally collapsed, and off balance and going down, he just floated it downfield.
A 4-man rush by San Diego State. They're not getting much pressure on John Walsh. Just no one open. Now he moves out of the pocket, just floats one to Kalen Hall. Good little stutter step there. If he could have kept his balance, he would have scored.
First down, Cougars at the Aztec 22-yard line. And Hall has shown everything tonight as a back. Gets the draw. Hall powering his way down to the 11-yard line. He has another first down.
Well, I said that I thought the pass rush of San Diego State is tired. The other thing you do when you have a pass rush is you trap them. Kalen Hall, the success that BYU's had with this trap. You see the trapping guard, number 66, Mike Empey, opens it up. And into the secondary, Darrell Lewis, the free safety, sitting in center field, makes the tackle.
Hall now has 122 yards rushing. He's caught 2 passes for another 45. 1st and 10, Cougars. Play action. Walsh unloads at the last moment, and it can't be held by Eric Drage. He was covered by the linebacker, Robert Griffin. That's a mismatch out there. Although Griffith is a dime back and has played safety.
See John Walsh buying time for Eric Drage to come open. Pretty good coverage by Robert Griffith. 34. Close to being a touchdown. That ball almost got in there for the score. See Eric Drage almost push off a little bit. Just couldn't get his arms together to make that catch.
Would have been a tough catch, but still possible. Sean Smith was in the process of hauling down Walsh when he let it go. Willis, and he's tripped up in the backfield. Willis got 1 step, and Jamal Duff, number 48, caught a piece of a leg and took him down.
The last 3rd down that BYU was down in scoring position. They looked to the tight end, number 95, Byron Rex. And then Eric Drage, number 18, with the 2 receivers, but Rex is coming off the field.
So is Hall, as they go to a 3 wide receiver set. Christensen, number 25, another receiver lined up in the backfield. Drage, touchdown.
Mike, when I sat with Eric Drage the other day, I asked him, I said, what's your favorite route? He said the corner route. And that's exactly what John Walsh threw this time for the touchdown.
And he beat their best defensive back, Damon Pierre.
But when you have man-to-man coverage, they move Eric Drage in motion to set up a little possible pick play. He gets inside position and breaks to the outside on Damon Pierre for the touchdown.
Walsh with his 3rd touchdown pass of the night. And once again, he has his club back to within 8 points. Lauder will try to make it 7 and does. And now Drage, 5 catches, 72 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the night. It's a 1-touchdown game from Provo. Back in a moment. ESPN's Thursday Night CFA is brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. And by AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, it's like buying time. 9:41 to go in the 3rd quarter. We expected nothing less. 55 points and counting. Brigham Young is close to within a touchdown, and Lauder set to kick off. And San Diego State must be thinking about what happened last year when they were so far ahead and ended up in a 52-52 tie. Lauder nails another one to the back of the end zone and then out of it.
This is Ron Mims, the defensive secondary coach, talking to his defensive backs, trying to get the point across. And on the last play, they just had too big a cushion on Eric Drage.
It's been a game of strike and counter-strike for these two teams. Let's see what San Diego State can do from its own 20. Complete to Darnay Scott, and Scott has a first down out to the 34-yard line. Patrick Mitchell has to make the tackle, and Scott now up to 90 yards on 6 catches.
Mike, David Lowry has this every first down play. Look at the cushion out here for Darnay Scott. They just respect his speed so much that they're going to give him the 5-yard pass play, but he turns it into a first down. Patrick Mitchell just too big a cushion.
Faulk on the delay. Got a nice block. Marshall Faulk explodes across the middle. 20-10, see you later. Touchdown. "65 yards for Marshall Faulk. Another touchdown, and he's up to 198 yards. How about that acceleration? Holy cow.
He just left him in the secondary. He got a nice block by Joe Hines, number 66. Just a draw. It just inviting the defensive lineman in, put it to Marshall Faulk, and he broke it for the touchdown.
He said to win the Heisman, he would have to be so much better than anyone else he might be. His third touchdown of the night. Trackus, who has been perfect all night on placements and field goals, and it's 38-24. Watch this.
Mike Alexander, the center, number 54, with a good block. Carson Liamidi, number 71, with a good block. There's the good block by Joe Hines. Now Marshall Faulk takes off, and it looks like he's going to get caught right here by Derwin Gray, but he just puts it in overdrive and says, I'm heading for the end zone.
Derwin Gray, a Thorpe Award candidate, is one of the best defensive backs in the country.
See the quick cuts that he makes. He's just able on the move to make the cut. He has great vision as a running back. He's making a statement tonight.
22 carries, 198 yards. In 2 games, he's already over 400.
Watch the burst when he gets in the secondary. Pretty good angle by Derwin Gray, but he just is able to put it in overdrive for the score.
We asked him how fast he ran the 40, and he said he really didn't know, but one of the players he ran away from last week runs a 4.4 40, and he left him in the dust.
Steve Christensen, number 25. Eric Hughes,
Faulk approaching his 4th career 200-yard game.
kicking off for the Aztecs.
I don't know about you, but if you had to vote on the Heisman right now in the 2nd week of the season, he'd get my vote.
Well, he'd get mine right now, but we're going to see some pretty good backs here in the next couple of weeks and some pretty good players. But Marshall Faulk, like I said before, is making a statement.
198 yards on 22 carries, 3 touchdowns.
In the 3rd quarter.
And this one will get through the hands of Eric Hughes out of the end zone. Let's check in with Jerry Punch. Jerry?
Guys, San Diego State defensive coordinator Barry Lamb challenged his young linebacking core after that last BYU drive. They are going to have to make a play, he said, particularly sophomore Mark Roberts. He told Mark, said, you got to make sure you read the draw in the trap. They're trapping us, and Kalen Hall's coming right up the middle and going downfield, but you got to also drop back and give us center coverage. They're killing us up the middle. So let's see if that linebacker core can rise to the occasion here in the 3rd quarter. Back upstairs.
All right, Jerry, and if you love stats, we're up to 62 points in this game and nearly 700 yards of total offense. 9:11 to go 3rd quarter. Well, exactly what Jerry Punch called, straight up the middle with Hall, and he got nothing as Mark Roberts was right there.
The other thing that Marshall Faulk's able to do is take the crowd out of the game. I mean, it is silent here.
It's hard to believe 65,000 people can be this quiet.
That long run can do it.
And he is hardly done for the evening. 1.5 quarters to go. He's got a shot at 300. Stallings nearly got the sack. Willis at midfield. And again, John Walsh, who doesn't appear to have any mobility whatsoever, seems to be able to shake off tacklers, stay in the pocket, and get it done.
Mike, I made a point earlier, and I'll stick with it. The defensive line of San Diego State is tired, and they're getting sloppy, and they're allowing John Walsh the long amount of time to find Jamal Willis down the corner for the big yardage. San Diego State may have to blitz to try to put pressure on Walsh.
Another Las Vegas, Nevada native. And look at this. 2 more yards, and we have hit 700 for the night. Here comes the blitz. Drage again. They'll pick up about 5 this time. Chris Johnson got a hold of the jersey and just wouldn't let go.
It was a checkoff by John Walsh. He saw the 8-man front, knew he had the route to Eric Drage on the outside, checked it off. Once he got his back set, was able to complete the pass.
I think Brigham Young, for all the things that Lavelle Edwards has been able to do here, he has always had a receiver that he could throw to who would always make the catch and get the big yards, like Drage.
See Norm Chow, he's the one on the right making the play calls.
Hall on the draw. He's got the first down, and Moore shakes off another tackle. And slips as he got to the 32-yard line. An impressive young running back is Kalen Hall. Eric Sutton covered him.
Well, I'm sure Kalen Hall's thinking, you know, there's a great back on the other side of the field, but I can play also, and I can gain some yardage on the quick trap. He's been very successful tonight. 5'9", 200-pound junior.
And Marshall Faulk, who told us the other night he admires all backs, is probably ready to go up and congratulate Hall, who already has 137 yards rushing. And you can bet Faulk will be watching him to see if he does something that would help him. This is Willis. And Willis stuck by the linebacker, Robert Griffith, as he picked up a couple. Of course, one thing BYU can do is wear you down defensively. Their offensive line so much bigger than the San Diego State defensive line. This is the average, 6'6 and a half, 298. The tackles go 6'8", 315 and 6'8", 330. I mean, they can really give you a lot of trouble. Flag is down. Wall steps up. Throws complete to Otis Sterling, and now we'll check the flag for you. He was thrown in the backfield. Sterling, that's the shortest catch he's made this year. He had 2 last week that averaged 45 apiece.
Looked like they had a back moving plus the motion man, Eric Drage. 2 people moving at the same time.
Lavelle Edwards' 3rd best winning percentage among active coaches. Only Tom Osborne and Joe Paterno have higher winning percentages. That's a pretty good club to be in.
Motion against the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Our CFA Thursday night series will continue next week. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Craig James, the Mole People, preview our college football weekend games starting at 7:45 with a weekend kickoff show. Then it's out to Piscataway, New Jersey, and a Big East game between the Pitt Panthers and the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. That game on campus at Rutgers. 2nd and 12 here for Brigham Young, down by 2 touchdowns and driving. They go with a blitz again, and this time they've got Walsh. Robert Griffith was there along with Sean Smith. The 3rd sack by the Aztecs.
Robert Griffith just came from the outside, blitzed, and beat the block of number 76, Eli Herring. Look at Eli Herring, the left tackle. He's really getting an extra step to try to protect against Robert Griffith. He knows he's got such quickness on the outside. He's trying to get that cheat step, which is supposed to be a penalty this year.
Supposed to be, but we haven't seen it called yet.
Seen it called. Well, it's the whack where they're throwing the football. So back up a little bit.
3rd and 19 for Walsh. San Diego State showing blitz again. They drop out of it. Walsh deep over the middle. It was intended for Drage, but tipped. And San Diego State dropped 7 men into coverage that time. And it was tipped by Taraj Smith, the nose man, who got the hand up.
BYU kept the tight end in, Byron Rex, and only had a 2-man route. San Diego State baited them in, thinking they were going to blitz, and then they dropped out and played zone against the 2-receiver route.
So they'll send in the punting team now on 4th and 18, and Peterson goes back to the 10-yard line. I don't think San Diego State is real sure that they're going to kick it away yet. And off the side of Herrick's foot. And they might have a chance to down it, and they do inside the 2-yard line. Herrick trying for the pooch punt, got it a little bit off the side of his foot, but it really worked to his advantage. And excellent coverage for the Cougars as they down it at the 2. For San Diego State with a 14-point lead deep in their own territory. Marshall Faulk getting a breather at the sideline. Wayne Pittman, number 44, is in the backfield in his spot. And Pittman gets the carry. driving his way out to about the 7-yard line. If you joined us late, Faulk already has 198 yards rushing in this game. And, Mike, this is rapidly becoming a much better conference.
This is a good league, and when you add Fresno State, Lavelle Edwards said there was probably a couple years that Fresno State in the last 10 years would have won this league. So they just toughen it up. Here's last week's results. BYU beating UTEP, San Diego State with a tie against Southern Cal, and the other conference teams winning.
2nd and 7. Pittman again. Got maybe a yard. Stood up by Lenny Gomes, the nose man, who's had a fine game. And Ted Dawson, number 47, as a couple of the starting linebackers are out with injuries. And Lavelle Edwards hoping the magic continues. His team has been able to come from behind so many times in the past. We're in Provo, where 65,000 are very quiet right now because the Aztecs of San Diego State lead it by 2 touchdowns. You have to wonder how quiet it was last year when it was 45-17.
May have been quiet, but they picked it up when they got close. I look for Darnay Scott. A little quick out pattern to Darnay Scott here.
Lowry does throw the quick pattern, but instead was throwing to Ray Peterson, covered by Derwin Gray. And they'll have to kick it away. And the crowd right back in it.
They had the little short route for the first down. It's just a poorly thrown ball by David Lowry to Ray Peterson, and a good defensive series by BYU.
Yes, it was.
But number 28, Superman, was on the sideline. You breathe a little easier when you're the defensive coordinator and you see him on the sideline.
Johnston waiting the punt of Oatsfall. 10 men on the line of scrimmage for BYU. Will they come? Oatsfall gets it out of there. Johnston at the 49. Nice cut. Johnston back to the 30-yard line. A return to 21 after a 42-yard punt, and that has them pumped up in Provo.
You always tell your punt return guy you have to make the first man miss. Then the blocking set up. Number 84, Mike Johnston, with a nice return, gives BYU great field position.
And Oatsfall, the punter, made the tackle. Willis, not much there. And Taraj Smith made the tackle. Here's Jerry Punch. Jerry?
Guys, one of the most animated conversations I have heard in a long time. Roger French, the offensive coordinator for BYU a minute ago, just challenged his offensive line, lit him up essentially on the sideline, saying, you guys are big enough and you're getting whipped up front. Stand up, use your punch technique. We've got to protect, guys. You got to go after them. You can't back up and let them come to you. Come on, guys, we're big. We got to play tough. Back upstairs.
I'm sure they've heard it before, Jerry, and they'll probably hear it a few more times. San Diego State coming with pressure. And that one is just thrown out into no man's land by John Walsh, who is decked for his trouble. And coming on the blitz, Robert Griffith, number 34, who's had a fine game from that dime back slash outside linebacker slash safety spot.
Looked like San Diego State jumped offside. No, just a quick snap, and the offensive line wasn't ready for the blitz, and it came from the corner, both the strong safety and Robert Griffith, number 34. They brought the both outside defensive players.
3rd and 8. Big play here for Brigham Young, trying to take advantage of that last defensive stand. Walsh on a little half roll. He's in trouble. Gets away again. Drains wide open. Touchdown.
Key situations all night. John Walsh has looked for number 18, Eric Drage, but there had to be a breakdown in coverage. I watched Eric Drage from the start of the play. No one picked him up. Man-to-man coverage, they just let him go. He was wide open.
Lauder comes on for the point after that could make it a 7-point game again, and does.
See Barry Lamb, the defensive coordinator. Eric Drage, number 18, is going to come in motion. Once he clears that level, look, no one picks him up. He's wide open. I watched him from the start. He was wide open. John Walsh had time to deliver. Just a bust in coverage for the touchdown.
Rex was wide open, too. He could have thrown it to either one.
Just another look at John Walsh finding the open receiver, Eric Drage, for the touchdown. You can bet one thing, Marshall Faulk's going to get back on this field.
And watch John Walsh after the play. He is nailed by Taraj Smith. And he's got something to say to Smith after the touchdown. Yes, sir. In your face.
On ESPN.
Walsh, 4 touchdown passes tonight. Drage has caught 3 of them. This is quite a ball game.
Well, we expected a high-scoring game, and I still believe it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. Who wears out?
And we're still 3 minutes and 15 seconds away from that, and Al Luganville has seen this before. And I'd have to guess that Marshall Faulk is going to be back in the ballgame.
Said a couple years ago, defensive coordinators in this league become insurance salesmen.
And want to. Williams with a chance to run one back for a change. And out to the 23-yard line. Back to the sidelines and Jerry Punch.
Guys, BYU quarterback John Walsh told us early in the week he likes to pattern himself after his idol, Miami Dolphins all-pro quarterback Dan Marino. He said, like Marino, I may not have quick feet, but I try to make up for it with savvy, arm strength, and accuracy. I believe he just proved it a minute ago.
Boy, he does hang in there. I mean, he just sheds tacklers and finds a way to get the ball there, and that's what you want as a winner.
Buys time, Mike. 28 is back in the game.
198 yards and counting for Marshall Faulk. 200 and counting. Out to the 33-yard line, very close to another first down. And Derwin Gray jawing at him a little bit, and Faulk jawing right back.
I'm sure the injuries on the defensive front and the linebacker losing Shad Henson, number 50, has hurt the leadership of this defense of BYU. They just cannot stop Marshall Faulk.
Hey, if you're Derwin Gray, you want to get this guy mad?
No.
He's already gained 208 yards. What are you going to tell?
Well, maybe he's hoping he'll take a swing at him, so that's the only way to stop him.
Might be.
Thrown out of the game.
They'll measure for the first down, and just short. San Diego State's best friend right now would be about an 8-minute drive, eating time off the clock, giving the defense a chance to rest. And Lowry throw on 2nd and inches. Intended for Scott. And that ball sailed a little bit behind him. Good coverage by Tarleton, and the ball was underthrown.
It's a throwaway down. It's a good call. He figures it's a one-on-one situation. Darnay Scott showed us early in the broadcast that if you get it up there, he has great ability to stop and go for the high ball. But here he has to turn completely around, and there's just no room with Vic Tarleton on the backside of him. Lowry wanted interference, but I think it was a good call, no interference.
I do too. Excellent coverage by Tarleton.
Who do you think's going to carry the ball here?
I think everybody at home knows too. Cuts it outside. Slips a tackle. Goodbye. Faulk shoved out of bounds at the 20-yard line, and that was a saving play by Patrick Mitchell. Holy cow.
Where he's had his biggest gains tonight is in short yardage when he starts up at the line of scrimmage. BYU's working inside and then breaks it outside. Here he just runs over Derwin Gray.
Now Mitchell runs a 4.34 40, and he had the angle and just got enough of Marshall Faulk.
just got enough to knock him out of bounds.
24 carries, 253 yards for Marshall Faulk, averaging over 10 yards a carry.
That's the only thing maybe you can hope for if you're BYU. He tires himself out and has to go to the sideline.
That's right. 1st and 10, and Pittman is in there. Lowry guns this one to Williams. Did he make the catch or not? BYU signaling no. The officials haven't figured it out yet. And they say he did make the catch.
A little uncertainty by the officials there. They moved kind of slow. I think one official, the linesman, was waiting for the back judge to make the call.
Well, 3 guys ran toward each other saying, what was it?
You see David Lowry. Was it a catch or not? I can't tell.
Tough to tell from that angle.
Let's take another look. Keith Williams. I don't know.
Don't know.
I can't tell up here.
2nd and a yard. BYU showing blitz. Here they come. Pittman hitting the backfield. They'll lose several on that as Kevin Nickel led the charge, number 55.
BYU, just before the snap of the ball, moved into the Chicago Bear 46 defense and really got good penetration. Kevin Nickel, number 55. Backer. Watch him shift here. Watch him move. Here they move to try to mess up the blocking scheme, and they had a tailback counter called. Kevin Nickel, penetration, stops the play.
He's back.
The man with the S on his chest. Back to the field.
3rd and 5. Marshall Faulk. What a tremendous performance he seems to put on every time he straps on the helmet. Lowry with a quick toss for Scott. Touchdown. He beat Vic Tarleton, and Lowry laid it right in there.
San Diego State moved Marshall Faulk over to the right a little bit, so they had a passing formation. One-on-one again, the fade route to Darnay Scott. He does a nice job with the ball. He's able to really go up for the ball as a receiver. Just great strength and jumping ability.
Tremendous concentration, too. 2 touchdown catches for Scott, 105 yards on the night. Trackus on for yet another point after. Knocks it through again.
Kick is good, and 54 seconds left in the 3rd period.
San Diego State, see how Marshall Faulk's moved to the right. That's to get him involved blocking. Here's the one-on-one fade route to Darnay Scott. Just right over this. You can't throw that ball any better.
Tarleton was right there, too.
David Lowry made this play. I mean, that's the way you throw the fade. Vic Tarleton just can't stop that one.
And Lowry has a chance to celebrate as he hits another score. And the Aztecs have rung up 45 on the scoreboard here in Provo. We have a total of 76 right now.
I think they need to send some oxygen up to you and I.
Of course, Lavelle Edwards has seen his team fall behind before. Last year, he was behind San Diego State 45-17 and came back to tie at 52. And you can bet that is on the minds of both teams. But San Diego State has really pulled out some confidence builders in the last couple of drives.
BYU's defense just can't stop the offense of San Diego State. When they try to gang up on Marshall Faulk, then Darnay Scott's open on the outside one-on-one. They can't defend against him, and Marshall Faulk has been able to just have as much success as he wanted running the ball. Long night for Ken Smith, the defensive coordinator. He's just trying to come up with some answers to slow him down.
He may be out of fingers. We still have 54 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Right now, I think you'd have to say the leading Heisman candidate. Of course, you have great back in White at California. We'll see him. Shane Matthews at Florida. Several other guys who will certainly have an impact on it. Christensen will bring it out. And Trackus, the kicker, had to make the tackle. That's a gutsy move by Steve Christensen to take it that deep in the end zone, but it turns it into a big play.
Yeah, we've had so much offense tonight, we might as well get the kicking teams involved.
Oh, this has been a beauty.
Ball is spotted on 41.
6 seconds to go, third period. Hall lost his balance and stumbles to the 43. Covered by Chris Johnson, the safety, but Hall went down on his own. It's the time when the offense runs off the field, just looks at the defense, hold them a little bit, would you?
Just one time, guys. Just one time.
Clock working its way down to 14 seconds. Walsh again, the quick set. Gets it out to Sterling. First down and more. Broken tackle, forced out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. Otis Sterling out of Riverside, California, has outstanding speed on the outside. Made a nice move to get loose.
When you get tired, you miss some tackles, and both teams are starting to miss tackles. Otis Sterling, number 80, just a quick hitch. But now look, they have him pinned in, and he breaks the tackle of Robert Griffith, number 34. There's the free safety again, Darrell Lewis, not allowing the big play.
And Griffith's got to be tired. He's been in on an awful lot of plays tonight. 2 seconds to go in the period. Willis on the sweep. This worked a lot early. It's working again. Willis down to the 25-yard line and a flag at the end of the play. Gain of 14 will check the penalty, and once again, Robert Griffith in on the tackle.
I'll tell you what's impressive about BYU's offensive line. Those two guards, Mike Empey, 6'7", 290. The other guard, even Pilgrim.
And this will go against BYU. Well, you're right, Mike. Those guards, those big guys get out there and really run.
They get out, and they're able to block on the corner. Now, I don't know who was called for the clip here. Let's watch number 70. That's the clip on Darrell Lewis, number 9.
I don't know. That's a tough call. If you have a safety back there, if he intentionally turns his back, you can't call that a clip.
Illegal block in the back by the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty. We'll repeat the down. An untimed down.
And now they're changing. They're saying it wasn't a clip. The illegal block in the back rule has been changed to conform with the NFL rule this year. But again, if you turn your back intentionally, you're free game.
Well, it was tough right there, and I think that's the first call, blocking above the waist in the back, 10-yard penalty.
Even though it's the end of the quarter, they will play this with no time run off the clock. At least that's what the official has announced, but now they're switching sides.
0-0 on the clock.
No, they're going back.
So they have 0 on the clock. And they will run this play in no time. Will count off the scoreboard. We will still have 15 full minutes of action to go in the fourth quarter. And actually, so the penalty is moved from the spot of the foul, so it's 1st and 9.
And it's 1st and 9 right now.
So they actually gained a yard. Willis. Grabbed by the ankle and brought down by Terrell Steen. The only starting linebacker back on this squad this year. That's the end of the quarter. It's a 14-point lead. This act before. 1 full quarter of football to go, 45-31. San Diego State over BYU. The Cougars have the ball 2nd and 8 at the San Diego State 38. We have come to expect certain players to be involved through this time.
Eric Drake, number 18. You like crossing routes against man coverage. Let's see if they try to cross the receivers.
Drake has already caught 7 for over 100 yards. This time, Walsh will not be able to get away. And it was Taraj Smith again, as he has done several times, and a freshman, Leroy Glover out of San Diego, and that's the 4th sack.
Taraj Smith, number 98. See, a little play action pass here. And the defensive line not taking the fake, closing quick on John Walsh, not allowing him to throw the ball back. He's trying to throw a throwback pass.
3rd and 15 for him right now. Straight four-man rush. For Drage. He caught! Holy cow, what a catch!
Mike, third down and long yardage, and BYU's thinking was just throw the ball deep, try to take Eric Drage and get a chance on Damon Perry. But look at the cushion that he has here. Damon Perry's in good shape. This is just going to be a streak route, but Eric Drage with great concentration. Look at him. He knows he has to play that ball out there. Nice concentration by Eric Drage.
Perry was in perfect position. Willis on the sweep. Can't get the outside. And Eric Sutton, number 24, did a fine job.
Never left him outside. Eric Sutton, number 24. They've had success with the crackback, not this time. But you know, when you coach or when you watch a game, some players just have the knack to make big plays. Marshall Faulk on one side of the ball, but Eric Drage, number 18. Now, if I was Barry Lamb, I'd make sure I have 2 players on Eric Drage down here. Keeping my eye also on number 95.
Second and goal now from the 8. 95 is Rex, the tight end, the all-conference defense. Behind Drage. And a bad throw by Walsh, one of the few he's had tonight. Sutton was out there again on the coverage.
We had him wide open on the motion. They took both wide receivers inside and Eric Drage outside. I think defensively, Barry Lamb, he has to heat him up right here. And on the other side, BYU's got to go to the shotgun.
Did you see Al Luganville come over to Barry Lamb? He's wide open, and he said, hey, the guy's catching balls all night. How can he be the one that's wide open? It's a good question. Walsh, 18 out of 36, 291 yards, 4 touchdowns, and that early interception.
They got confusion here.
San Diego State players pointing at each other all over the place about who has who. And Walsh in trouble. Floats it into the end zone and just threw it away.
That play was a bust from the start, Mike. They just were totally confused. Lining up. They've got to go for this 4th down, I think. Just see the back. Kalen Hall was trying to signal that he wasn't sure what he was supposed to do. The play was a bust from the start.
And a smart play by Walsh to get rid of it.
I don't think Lavelle Edwards has a choice here. The way the San Diego State offense is manhandling his defense, he has to answer with touchdowns, not field goals.
Yeah, I don't think he can expect that San Diego State will be held scoreless in the 4th quarter.
No.
4th and goal from the 8.
A little surprised they're not going out of shotgun.
Drage to the top of your screen. That's where Walsh wants to go, and he throws it too high. Perry with excellent coverage out there. And the San Diego State defense holds, and Damon Perry, who thought he had Drage stopped earlier near the goal line, comes up with a big coverage play again.
Gave him a little bump at the end, but you see Eric Drage going to the end zone and trying to sit down in the corner right in front of the flag. You see the little bump there at the end. Good pressure by San Diego State. In the face of the quarterback, John Walsh.
So a big defensive series. And San Diego State with 12:56 to go in the game takes over from the 7-yard line. 93 yards of grass in front of the tailback, Marshall Faulk. And he eats up big chunks in a hurry. Out across the 17. Brad Clark made the tackle. Let's go down to Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Guys, Aztec head coach Al Luganville is well aware that his team was outscored in the 4th quarter in 7 of 13 games a year ago, including a 21-point comeback by this same team, BYU. That's why in the offseason the concentration was on conditioning. And one other thing, mental toughness. All the Aztec players are wearing this under their pads here tonight to be mentally tough in the 4th quarter. Back upstairs.
Jerry, we'll see how that works out. Right now they're up by 14, and they have the ball with 12:18 to go in the game. Faulk just adding to the numbers, crashes up the middle, out to the 33-yard line.
Mike, I would say unless there's some type of turnover, San Diego State, BYU can't stop them. And I think a big reason is when you lose your captain, Shad Henson, number 50, look at the blocking of the center on the linebacker, 47, Ted Dawson, just turns him out. Wide open hose. Marshall Faulk, the only one that can stop him there is the umpire. Derwin Gray is going to be the leading tackler because he has to come from the free safety to make the stop.
How about these numbers? 26 carries, 278 yards. Gets a breather here, and Pittman is in on 1st and 10. Pittman gets the carry. Well, they're tired when Pittman's in there too, but somehow there's a difference.
BYU needs a turnover. I mean, that's just the only thing that can save them in this football game because they can't stop San Diego's offense. They're just outgunned.
Due to the length of our ball game, baseball tonight will not follow our telecast. You will see Sports Center and then baseball tonight, or baseball tomorrow, whichever it shall be. More of the mole people back in the studio just waiting for the game day.
There's 4 moles over. Yes. You've been saying 3. Tim Brando joins them.
That's right. Pittman on the delay, and he'll lose a couple more. And San Diego State, obviously, trying to work on the clock a little bit. This is something Al Luganville said in last year's game about BYU. We went into the 4th quarter, and you could see the kids were playing not to lose instead of playing to win.
And that's been the emphasis in the offseason, in their spring practice and their conditioning program and the T-shirts that they have on. That's just a message and a slogan that they keep harping on as coaches, that mental toughness, and he's back.
Here comes Freddie Krueger again. He says on short yardage situations, that's what he wants to be. Just mean as a snake and go out there and deliver a shot.
Who'd Freddie Krueger play for? Hey, he doesn't even need a chainsaw.
No, he's got 278 yards. Look at this. The 2-game total, he's approaching 500. This time he'll go out as a flanker on 3rd and 13. Not a bad guy to throw to either. Lowry lost the ball. And the official is saying it's an incomplete pass. That's a break for San Diego State. BYU thought they had the big turnover.
What happened was David Lowry had made a decision. He was going to throw the 3-step drop to Marshall Faulk, and I don't think Marshall Faulk was looking, and he was trying to hold the ball, but he did end up throwing it. It was a good call by the referee.
Good call. On 4th and 13, they'll have to punt it away.
Busted route. That's about the only thing Marshall Faulk's done wrong.
Oates ball to punt on 4th and 13. Clark, midfield, still on his feet, driving forward to the 47. There is a flag down back at the 35-yard line.
It's a clip on Nathan Hall, number 49.
And that will negate a nice return by Clark. That's the signal for the illegal block in the back. So Brigham Young loses excellent field position with 10:33 to go in the game. They'll start from near their 20 when we come back. ESPN's Thursday Night CFA is brought to you by Isuzu, makers of incredible 4-wheel drives. And by Bud Dry. For a beer that's refreshingly different, try Bud Dry. Mike Patrick, Mike Gottfried, and Jerry Punch with you from Provo, Utah. Brigham Young down by 2 touchdowns, trying to get something started on offense, and Willis will only get a couple of yards. Out to his own 27-yard line.
This is where the change in defensive philosophy helps San Diego State by playing Darrell Lewis, number 9, in the center of the field. You don't want the big play against you now. So Barry Lamb will try to keep Darrell Lewis in the middle of the field, whether he's playing man coverage or zone, to try to pick off a pass here.
Walsh will go to the shotgun on 2nd and 8. Good protection, throws to his tight end Rex. And Rex has a first down out near the Brigham Young 40-yard line. Stop that time, Sebastian Glaze, excuse me.
Just a little option route where the tight end sat down in coverage, and John Walsh was able to get him the ball to move the sticks. First down.
Clock ticking away, 9 minutes, 38 seconds to go. BYU down by 2 touchdowns at home to San Diego State. Draw play, Hall. Kalen Hall lost the football, got it back at the 45-yard line. He's had an impressive night. Got some help from Bryce Doman on the recovered fumble.
When you have success throwing the football, the trap will open. See good blocking, good angle blocking, and Kalen Hall just didn't put the ball away. Robert Griffith making the hit. Bryce Doman unrecovered.
Several big plays tonight by number 34 for San Diego. 2nd and 5. Walsh again with a short pattern. This one caught by Bowman. And Bowman down to the San Diego State 43. Well, this is sort of cat and mouse right here. San Diego State willing to give up the short gain. Brigham Young at this point willing to take it.
They're willing to take it. The clock, 8:39 on the clock, and they're stopping it with first downs. They're running little option routes there to Bryce Doman, 83, and picking up 10, 12 yards in a chunk.
Walsh over 300 yards passing on the night for his 2nd consecutive game. That's the blitz. They pick it up very well, and he has time, throws too high. Intended for Willis coming out of the backfield. Guess who on the coverage? Griffith again.
He plays a position, Mike, the outside, the dime position in the 8-man front, where he's asked to do a lot of things. He's a blitz man. He'll come from the outside. He has to man up with some backs coming out of the backfield. Has to play like a defensive back sometimes. So you ask a lot of the dime back and Robert Griffith and Terrell Steen, number 42, on the other side, the strong safety. They're mirrors of each other, of what their responsibilities are.
Walsh, there are the numbers, the 4 touchdowns. Clubbing that they're still down by 2. Walsh chased out of the pocket and sacked again. Ramondo Stallings. The 5th sack of the night by the Aztec defense. And they've come in some crucial spots.
Number 90 just beats the block of number 70, even Pilgrim, to put pressure and sack John Walsh.
And that time Walsh couldn't get away.
Couldn't get away, and now he's faced with a 3rd and 22. He's got to throw the ball down the field here now.
BYU, no sacks and 5 big ones by the Aztecs. Not out of the shotgun on 3rd and long. They want a screen to Hall. Got to cut it back the other way. He's got a big wall of blockers over there. And what a tackle by Robert Griffith. Oh, man. Perfect technique.
He stayed at home again, read the screen, just waited for Kalen Hall to come back to him, and then made a good form tackle. You'll see 34, Robert Griffith, come into your screen and just up in Kalen Hall.
And BYU on 4th and 22 will have to kick it away. Peterson waits at his 20 for Joe Herrick. So the sack, very important in that series. Peterson gets to the 24 and no more. Punt of 37, a return of 6 yards. So with 6:47 to go in the ballgame, San Diego State may be feeling a little bit more comfortable.
Probably in 1 year's time, it's had more effect on a university's football program and a community than maybe we've ever seen at any place at any time. I would probably have to relate it to the Tony Dorsett years at Pitt when they were rebuilding. He's just taken us to another level recognition-wise.
And he has set a stadium record tonight here at Brigham Young. 277 yards, the most any player has ever rushed at BYU. And trying to add to that, up over 280 as he reaches the 30-yard line. Brought down by Nathan Hall.
Mike, the schedule really has helped San Diego State. They had the very emotional game against Southern Cal, and to tie it the way they did. But Al Luganville talked about the fact we're playing BYU. That has our players' attention, and you could see they were ready to play.
Faulk now in his first 2 games over 500 yards rushing against Southern Cal and BYU. 2nd and 5. Clock working its way down towards 6 minutes. Nothing fancy here, just straight power football. And Faulk stacked up at the 30. No gain on that one. But San Diego State, all they want to do is work that clock.
Made by Ted Dawson.
A couple of first downs, and they can get ready to get on the bus and go home. And go home happy.
When you're a coach and you look up at that time, it seems like an eternity. It just doesn't run fast enough sometimes, and on the other side, it just runs too fast.
3rd and 5. Lowry for Williams and overthrown. And that will stop the clock with 5:19 to go, and San Diego State will have to kick it away.
Lowry's head for Keith Williams, number 81.
And there is a 30 or a 40-second time that did not tick off the clock that they may look back at.
Helps BYU, but I think San Diego State has that aggressive approach right now. We don't want to get too passive at this point. We want to just keep putting the pressure on BYU. So go for the bomb.
Oatsvall kicking to Clark. And shanked it. And BYU will have great field position. Big break there. Let's see where they spot it. In San Diego State territory at the 48. An 18-yard punt.
Well, you're going to see one more charge by BYU. This is their last hope.
We've got a timeout with 5:12 to go in the game. Don't go anywhere. The game, and let's see if Brigham Young can take advantage of the 18-yard shank punt. They have the ball at the San Diego State 47, down by 2 touchdowns. 5:12 to go. They have to score here. Walsh with a pump fake and then wants to go deep. Sterling, and just couldn't hold it. He had beaten Eric Sutton, and a flag is down and holding against the Cougars.
Otis Sterling's going to get one-on-one coverage with a good cushion. Here you see the little out route that they threw early in the game, and then the deep route. He just ran by number 24, Eric Sutton. The ball just out of his reach.
Well, excellent speed by Sterling, the senior.
Holding calls not too pleasant for Roger French, the offensive line coach.
And it's marked from the spot of the foul, so they go all the way back to the 34-yard line. And once you've had 5 sacks, you're going to start to get holding calls. Walsh trying to find somebody, anybody. Hit from behind, sacked again. And that was a coverage sack, as they did a great job in the secondary. Mark Roberts will get credit for that takedown.
More important, Mike, the clock keeps moving.
It sure does. And Lavelle Edwards can see it slipping away.
San Diego State, a man coverage team, sitting in zone coverage. You see the defense right here. Zone where they're just sitting back. Good coverage, no one open.
2nd and 30. And movement and flags. Leroy Glover jumping offside, number 92.
Mike, BYU has to throw the ball deep down the field, so they're looking for the long throw. San Diego State free safety Darrell Lewis and the corners Damon Pierre and Gary Taylor are thinking interception right now.
Second and 25 after the penalty. Four-man rush. Walsh with plenty of time. Crossing pattern. Drage again. 30. 20. Out of bounds at the 11-yard line. He has found a way to get open all night long.
He's as important to his team as Marshall Faulk is to San Diego State. Eric Drage, number 18. Big play after big play.
On second and 25, they pick up 53.
Eric Drage, you see him at top of your screen just looking for the hole on zone coverage. And then Darrell Lewis misses the tackle, which provides the opportunity for Eric Drage to take the ball all the way down to the 11, 12-yard line.
9 catches, 198 yards for Drage. And a huge play for BYU. Hall on the delay. No place to go. Stacked up at the 13-yard line. San Diego State did a nice job on that, and time now a factor. 3:59 and counting. Robert Griffith was in on another tackle along with Sean Smith.
The last time they scored, Eric Drage is coming back into the game. They brought Eric Drage in motion, which gave him more room in the corner of the end zone. If they line him up to the right, I would look for him to try to hit him in the corner of the end zone on the fade route.
And Marshall Faulk has to be thinking, not again. This happened last year, not this time. Walsh throws, touchdown, Rex! John Walsh with his 5th touchdown pass of the night. And tight end Byron Rex wide open in the end zone.
They used Eric Drage as an outlet. They just kind of faked him to the corner, took Byron Rex behind him in the corner. He was wide open. Everybody was looking for Eric Drage.
Big extra point here. Lauder will try to cut it to 7.
Mike, you have to be thinking, Lavelle Edwards has to be thinking now, 3:22 on the clock. I've got 3 timeouts, but I haven't stopped San Diego State's offense. Do I onside kick now, or do I kick the ball deep and hope I can get a great effort out of my defense?
Lauder makes it a 7-point ball game. 1,006 yards in total offense tonight.
Number 95, Byron Rex, the tight end, is going to be open in the corner. John Walsh delivers. No one on him. Everybody was on number 18. Their attention was to Eric Drage.
And that's not a bad place to put your attention, but Rex is an all-conference tight end. And we have a 7-point game with 3:22 to go. Some great performances tonight on both sides.
John Walsh has been impressive as a quarterback.
Yes, he has. Walsh, Drage, Marshall Faulk, Griffith on defense for San Diego State, the linebacker, the dime back.
It's going to be an interesting decision by Lavelle Edwards here. I believe I would still, even though I haven't had much success stopping Marshall Faulk, still try to kick the ball deep in the end zone and see if I can get one great effort out of my defense.
Well, remember on the last series, they just ran a couple of power plays with Faulk straight up the middle, didn't get much, then they threw on 3rd down. But if you had to get a couple of first downs out of your running game, that's the one guy I'd like to have chucking.
Make sure he's on the field. San Diego State is playing for the onside kick. You see, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 guys up in the 10-yard area. You see them right here. They're expecting the onside kick. They only have 2 players deep. So what they'll do is if they do get the deep kick, they'll just return a middle return.
And let's see what BYU has chosen to do with 3:22 left. Darnay Scott is the deep man back at the 5. And Lauder kicks it away. And Scott, 9 yards deep in the end zone, will kneel down. Marshall Faulk, 282 yards tonight. An average of 10.1. He's gained over 500 yards in 2 games. They're on their feet in Provo.
It's no secret who they're going to have to stop.
Trying to get it outside, cuts back, he got 6 yards out of it. Gray brought him down. If you take the average of what Marshall Faulk has been able to do through the first 2 ball games, you can project some incredible numbers for him that would give him an NCAA record over what Barry Sanders had in 11 games at Oklahoma State. And that is a record a lot of people thought would be standing there for a long, long time. This kid's got a chance.
As you put those statistics up, I'm sure there's some defensive coordinators on this San Diego State schedule that just got sick.
They're looking for those insurance jobs you mentioned. 2nd and 4. Faulk, first down at the 31. Big carry there.
BYU's trying to move on defense, just anything to give them an advantage to try to confuse the blocking schemes. You see Marshall Faulk just kind of slither through and pick up the yardage for the first down. San Diego State's just going to turn it over to him right now. The offensive line of San Diego State versus the defensive line of BYU. Marshall Faulk versus the linebackers.
30 carries, 294 yards for Marshall Faulk. BYU has all of its timeouts left, but they have to stand here.
They're going to have to use their timeouts.
Faulk, 3 more.
They need to make a timeout call.
And they stop it at the 2-minute mark. We have a timeout on the field. San Diego State leads BYU by 7. Aztecs, 2 minutes to go. Our Wranglers players of the game coming up. Wonder who it might be for San Diego State. Marshall Faulk, 31 carries, 297 yards. But the first down is the most important thing here. One more, they can ice it. Faulk.
Another timeout. They need to call a timeout.
Got to the 36. Barrett Awai makes the tackle. And Marshall Faulk at 299 yards.
See Ken Smith, the defensive coordinator, Lavelle Edwards calling the defense over. Watch the defense of BYU shift, trying to confuse the blocking assignments of San Diego State. You know what would be a great call here? Would be the fake to Marshall Faulk and the boot, the roll by the quarterback. There would be nobody in this stadium would tackle him because everybody is going for Marshall Faulk.
3rd and 5 coming up after our ball game. Sports Center, which will be followed by baseball tonight. Got some big stories to report to you tonight, too. And trying to get them fired up on the BYU sideline. They still have a shot, but they've got to stop them here. They have 1 timeout left. And Marshall Faulk and the rest of his offensive teammates coming over to Al Luganville. Luganville has done such a job with this program. He's in his 4th year. He's got them right where he wants them. He's got a young ball club that's fired up. He may have the best offensive player in the country in Marshall Faulk. And this is going to be a program to be reckoned with.
And Mike, it's a young team.
Yes, it is.
A team with a great future. Well, you know everybody's going to zero in on Marshall Faulk. But again, another great call would be Lowry keeping the football going outside.
I don't know. How do you not give it to a guy who's gained 299 yards? Faulk. And they got him in the backfield at the 31. huge defensive stop. 1:44 to go in the game.
Tried to run Marshall Faulk to the outside. The movement by BYU, they're able to get somebody up the field on Marshall Faulk. See, number 55 was able to get up Kevin Nickel to force the play, and then Derwin Gray makes the tackle. Does not allow Marshall Faulk to corner. Now, BYU spent all their timeouts, but a good passing team will use the 2-minute drill to perfection. Then they have to be thinking in terms of a 2-point play, because I doubt that Lavelle Edwards wants to tie this game because of the WAC rule.
If they do tie, the team that has gone last does not go to the Holiday Bowl, so that would be San Diego State, because Brigham Young has obviously gone more recently. So you're right, he almost has to play for the win. And of course, Al Luganville, I think, would like anything but a tie.
Mike, I'd go after this punt because Scott Oatsville shanked the last punt. You got to try to put some pressure on him.
Brad Clark waits at his 24. Good kick this time by Oatsville. And Clark lost the ball. And San Diego State has it. Holy cow. What a huge turnover. Brigham Young would have had 1:36 to go. And Steve Matowitz makes the recovery.
Just went through the hands of Brad Clark, and good coverage. When you go after a punt and you're in a single safety, you only have one person back there, so if he does fumble the football, the odds are it's going to be recovered by the opposing team.
Excuse me, I mispronounced that young man's name. I can't do that. It's Matashevitz. He made the recovery, and a huge one it was. So Faulk, who lost 5 yards and is back to 294, will get another shot with 1:36 to go. No timeouts for Brigham Young. And San Diego State with a chance to salt it away. What a disappointment for BYU after a great defensive stand to get the ball back.
They got what they needed out of their defense, and their offense was ready to come back in with the time they had with the 2-minute drill. David Lowry just needs to spend time now.
And they are in no hurry.
Just needs to get the play off with 2 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds to go. Use as much clock as he can.
And Faulk with a chance to go over the 300-yard mark. Dives forward to the 28. 299 yards rushing for Marshall Faulk on 35 carries. So he has 519 yards rushing in 2 games. Those aren't bad numbers.
Those used to be career marks for some running backs.
That's right. Sports Center coming up right after the ball game, and then baseball tonight. 18 seconds to go in this game. And Lowry will just kneel down. Faulk will not get the shot at 300, but I don't think he cares one bit. And San Diego State, as Faulk goes over to shake hands with Lavelle Edwards, has won one of the biggest games in the history of its program, and Al Luganville has them right where he wanted. Our Wrangler players of the game for San Diego State. Marshall Faulk with some incredible numbers, 35 carries, 299 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And the man who helped keep it close for Brigham Young, Eric Drage, 9 catches, nearly 200 yards. He had 3 touchdown catches. A marvelous showing here. San Diego State and Brigham Young, the final 45-38 Aztecs. For Mike Godfrey, Jerry Punch, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Provo, Utah. SportsCenter is next.